Hi guys, Tarke here, and today we are joined by Karv, Uberly, Nugi, and Raiz. We're doing a completely spooky summoner-themed Baeclast. Also, for people watching live, I just sent out a tweet at the end. We'll do a mini Q&A thing, so if you have any questions, maybe about how Raiz does his mustache, then leave them there. But let's sort of get into it with what has everyone been up to. Raiz, what have you been up to?
Same thing, I think, as last time. Occultist Poet's Pen, first one Poet's Pen. Now I've finally got two, and I'm trying to craft gear in SSF. So farming fossils with a 6-link Queen of the Forest fossil farmer, because it's the only Queen of the Forest that I got. So I have to use a 6-link, even though I don't use it. I just have random gems in it. And yeah, I'm trying to craft like a really GG crystal belt, shaped crystal belt, because you can get some really, you can get flat energy shield, percent energy shield from body armor, energy shield recovery, and then you can top it all off with like something totally crazy like 30% less damage from crits. And it hasn't been going that well, I'll admit. I think I'm on like 10 hours of farming and I get like 90 fossils an hour. And so far...
Total.
What's up?
Total.
No, 90 fossils an hour for 10 hours. So
You're like just
I'm probably
an assortment of fossils totaling 90.
Yeah. No. I get just 90 fossils an hour.
Your target farming just one area, so you're just getting the same.
Yeah, but it's not like 90 dense or 90 pristine or like...
No, 90 dense.
90...
90 dense. I get 90 dense, yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, and then some other ones as well.
I don't really pick up the other ones because my tabs are full and I don't really have much that I can do with them. Yeah, I have 300 aberrants. I already had to buy like 10 stash tabs this league. I always used 18 stash tabs, and I would only ever need like 14, maybe something like that. And I play a lot of SSF. That shit fills your tabs up because you just keep so much crappy stuff. And this league, no, I bought another quad tab and like 10 stash tabs, and it's still not enough.
I bought 2 more quad tabs this league.
Did you know there's a sale right now?
Right now.
Really?
Stash tabs, yeah.
I'll buy some
more. I bought another quad yesterday. I'm gonna buy one more today.
Actually, that's a question. So, Raiz has bought stash tabs, I've bought stash tabs, Nugi's bought stash tabs. Uber and Karv, have you felt compelled to buy more stash tabs this league?
Yes.
They fucking knew it. I'm telling you, man. They knew it.
No, they had to, right?
Dude, SSF was an
a 2x2.
Though I feel like I would have bought anyways without Delve, I think. I only have like 6 or 7 tabs for
that's what they make you think. I think.
But I haven't started farming fossils yet, so...
Oh, you need to buy more then, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're screwed. What?
Dude, I started farming fossils pretty early, and I'm like... I'd be lying if one of the reasons I left SSF was because of the stash tab situation. It's so much space taken up in stash tabs.
And it's like individual little things constantly, unless you use the powerful, which you like never really use anyway, unless you're like very specifically doing something. I don't know.
I'm also target farming because I'm trying to craft a remote mine helmet, and I have 2 full stash tabs of just scorched fossils, and that's of just scorched, nothing else. Like, it's ridiculous. So hopefully with Delve going core they'll fix it. But yeah, so we don't get stuck in a 10-hour fossil circle jerk. Has anyone been doing anything which hasn't been related to fossils?
I mean, yeah, playing the game. Yeah.
Like, all of this is preparation for playing the game, right?
Yeah. I have to do the fossil hammer at some point, but so far I haven't done much.
Basically, what Karv is saying is that he didn't have a Queen of the Forest, so he couldn't do it.
And I found it like 2 days ago, so... But I don't have Kikasaurus, so I'm kind of fucked. I use them on my lore weave, which I'm not even using.
It's not bad, really. The Kikasaurus don't really help much. Like,
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use 2 essence form for haste and craze, and then I'm gonna run blasphemy temp chain. This is just so that I don't get completely destroyed there because I don't have the crazy region.
I mean, you
Wait.
could go double curse, enfeeble, temp, go full curse effect.
That's too many
Wait, what
levels.
for? A fossil farmer?
Yeah, because I don't have Gigasaurus right now, so
Wait, but what sort of stuff are you looking to farm?
I don't know, like lower depths. I don't know, maybe like up to like 100 max.
Are you trying to do
I
energy
need
shield
to-
farming?
No, I need to farm pristines for life, and then is it aberrant for the chaos? Because I need to roll a
Yeah.
chaos register on my amulet, because otherwise I'm just gonna get dumpstered by chaos limits later.
You
Yeah.
don't need any regen or anything, honestly. I have like 2k life. I am using 2k Kazarus for lack of better options, but like
I don't think I need it, but of course I would want to use if I had.
Yeah.
I
You'll be
mean,
fine.
yeah, you'd be able to do like a darkness farmer maybe instead, but I guess
No, I'm just gonna run the lighted areas.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so much easier on hardcore.
It really is.
Softcore things, I'm just doing it with like a 7 ES build, so.
Is it even faster though, doing it on the way you're doing it in the softcore?
Yeah.
I have a really hard time thinking that it's faster than the.
That's what I was
just the
thinking
lighted
too.
stuff. I mean,
Random
I'm
stuff
getting
appears on
sold
the
to the
road.
fossils.
Yeah, random stuff appears on the road, so it is slightly faster.
The way I do
You
it
don't know
is
where you're
I
going.
have 2 that I run backwards between. So I have one long fire zone, and that's where I get my pristines from and my scorched, and then I have like a half-length frigid one, which is where I get all my frigid ones. So I'm trying to craft a glacial cascade helmet, and I just go backwards and forwards between that. So it's not really like there's not really any darkness farming involved too much. I probably don't ever go above like 100 stacks. It's just I'm using a character I set up like weeks ago, and I've never optimized it. I've just been using that same 7 ES build for this now, and Pathfinder infinite blast charges, and yeah, I've got a full quad tab which gets filled up within an hour. It's just like
Yeah.
I just thought about something. Can you influence what comes out of enchanted fossils with other fossils?
oh, I've never tried that.
Never thought about it.
That
Oh.
Never actually thought about that.
sounds like something someone should probably test.
I'm pretty sure Empu tried it at some point and it didn't work. Don't quote me on that though, but I think he tried
Yeah.
it.
I mean, maybe
I
you
haven't
can't
seen
really
anything
tell.
Pretty
but-
OP, right? Just do no
Yeah.
elemental
Because it's
ones.
not an explicit mod on the item itself, it's implicit.
Okay, well, for the sake of Al Kaiser, let's talk about SRS. So, SRS, Raiz, please inform me, how does SRS compare to old and new?
Old and new?
Yeah.
As in old SRS or old the skills in general?
How
I
does
didn't-
SRS fare now compared to when it was first introduced?
Oh, well, it's a completely different game. Because back in the day, SRS used to be like, when it released, it was like the thing, but the game was like way, way, way different because things were scary and spoopy and there wasn't as much focus on like mobility and all this sort of stuff. And chaining SRSs was very different. And now everything's a lot more zoomy. But in general, SRS is doing okay. I didn't do like a full-blown SRSer, and it was doing okay. And I can imagine that if you were to use the accuracy gloves and all this sort of stuff, then you could make it pretty right, but not good.
I mean, didn't you do that for a while either?
Yeah, I tried. That was one of the first things I tried because since there's a 6-link box in Delves, apparently somebody was selling a 6-link Covenant for like 200 chaos. So that was literally like the first thing I did when I left SSF. I bought some gloves and got a 6-link Covenant. Tried it, and honestly, kind of underwhelming. It honestly wasn't that amazing.
I'm surprised you did it with a covenant and not with a staff.
I was
think
thinking
you really have to do the staff now.
I was thinking about the staff. It's honestly not that much better, but the one thing that would have been nice is that each SRS has more life, which definitely becomes a problem the deeper you go, because and that's a whole topic I'll get into later. But minion life definitely becomes a thing. to be concerned about, and it is very slightly more damage. But I was actually like somewhat concerned about my currency at that point, so I never actually ended up crafting a staff. I just moved on from it and did other things.
One thing I would be curious about, because a lot of what people have asked me is like, how's this build handled now? You said that when SRS was first made, it was very much like of the time. Does it matter if skills from like however many years ago just aren't it anymore? Like, do we expect GGG to always have every skill always be of the time, or is it okay for some of them to just slip?
Things are always on a downward slope until something comes out that like really makes them crazy, right? Like it has to be, because skills are getting released. Well, I mean, maybe not as much anymore, but skills back then were getting released in a way that would like reflect gameplay and like the community too. So now skills are oftentimes very random, where back then it was like, oh, people need a way to deal with this certain thing in this certain type of gameplay on hardcore. Well, now it's like, no, that's just not a consideration. So they just develop anything, I think. And so in that way, it's very, very different to what it was back then. But things definitely go. I mean, that's why we have the skill reworks, right? Like they're clearly focusing on that now, because so many skills were just super duper outdated. And I think it's fun. I think it's better in general that they do that, because I'm not as excited about re-releasing a skill, but making a skill viable and interesting again. I think that's better. And it seems like less work too, no?
Kind of.
Yeah. I think they've been trying, instead of some of the skills in the past that they've like revamped, especially like incinerate. Instead of just like incinerate was already popular, right? I don't know why you need to reinvent the wheel there. Flame blast is a popular skill. People enjoy playing with it. There's like one more skill, like cyclone, right? I don't understand why they don't just keep them relevant. Like
No,
these,
we
like,
got a
big
nerf cyclone,
nerfs.
but
It's just like an archetype of playstyle that people enjoy, and we can just have that. I don't really understand why it has to be like this special snowflake skill all of a sudden.
I don't think Incinerate
works.
Incinerate was pretty dead. And Flame Blast was pretty dead.
Because they nerfed it.
Yeah,
It
they
did
nerfed
no
it.
damage.
Yeah.
I mean, any skill that does no damage is dead because people don't like not doing damage.
If they'd like removed the ridiculous mana cost and made it do more damage, it would have still like been a thing. Because there've been a lot of skills which is kind of like they had a crazy mana cost at one point because they used to be broken, so it was fine, and then they lose the damage, and it's like, why does this still have that mana cost? You know, like Dom Blow for years and years, this like crazy mana cost. So it's like even if someone wanted to play this shit build, why it used to cost like 100 or something just to do a single
300.
swing. Yeah, that was it.
Probably upwards of 300 when you were using. It was basically only usable with Soul Taker.
Yeah.
Blood magic phase breakers and stuff is what people do way back. I don't know, the Incinerate thing I kind of disagree with, because it still plays the exact same it did, except now you've got like more options for your gameplay with the wave and everything, and you can like one tab. I think the Incinerate was an improvement.
I don't really agree.
You could have just given more damage and it would have been the same. Like it would still worked just fine.
Yeah, but it is the
rework was
same,
needed.
except there's a wave at the end now. It's
You
like,
can't manipulate the length. It's like it's just like this AOE thing, and AOE kind of like the scaling of AOE is just weird. It's like, it doesn't.
yeah, the AOE is a problem for sure. I can totally agree with that.
The way you manipulate between like a little one and I mean, I like that. It was just a good skill. And I don't know. It left a void.
Yeah.
In my
What
opinion.
Dan said is what I think. Just add the rework as a new skill and buff the old Incinerate, because like the two skills are basically the only thing they share in common is it's channeling and it's fire. That's literally like the only thing.
Yeah, but it might be also like a thing for the future, right? Where they're like, well, we're gonna take this thing out now, but we're going to introduce something like similar to fill that void later down the line in a better way, right? It's like what they did with Bestiary, where they were like, oh, certain things in bestiary really worked and we enjoyed them, but we're not going to add the league because we can find ways to do this in like just better. That would basically accomplish a similar thing. So maybe
Okay,
they're
then.
looking at it that way.
So, question then, since you seem very much in favor with Incinerate, if they were to completely like rework SRS and delete the old SRS, but the new one was better, would you be like, yeah, let's go?
Depends the extent of the rework, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. I totally get where people are coming from with like deleting old things that seemingly worked, but like it's a numbers game for them too, right? If they look at Incinerate and they're like, this is just nobody's playing it. I get that it just doesn't work because it wasn't dealing enough damage, but I also understand where they're coming from, which is going, yeah, nobody likes this shit. Because I'm sure there are skills that don't work from a meta point of view, but people still play them and still enjoy them. I mean, to a certain extent, Cyclone is one of those skills where you can't really make like a super turbo crazy cycloner, but it's really fun to play, even though it's not really a meta skill. And even in terms of melee, it's one of the weaker melee skills right now. So, but they still look at it and they're like, well, it doesn't quite do enough. And we know that there are some things and it's very like hard to build, but people are still playing it, therefore it works. But with Incinerate, it was
Therefore, we'll
like,
nerf the AoE. No, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
what's
oh,
that?
no.
It's fun. Okay, we're nerfing the range again by 1.
Did
Yeah.
have they made an official statement about that yet? 'Cause
No.
that's just weird.
They
must have been an
added it to the
accident.
patch notes like 10 days after the release. I don't know why.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
I didn't
did.
know. I
10
thought it
days.
was an accident.
10 days after release, they added it to the patch notes.
I wonder what Nugi can find if he can just go all like to the old patch notes and see, oh, this is like a thing that's been ongoing, but we didn't know about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I had no
Rampage
idea
thing.
that they did that.
I don't remember reading anything about the Rampage thing for such a long time. And then it was like a huge like a bomb from I don't know who said it on like confirmed it on Reddit. It was like whoa, what?
Yeah,
I
I thought,
actually
yeah, go.
I actually thought that when was it? During the Mayhem race, I actually remember that patch note. And I remember talking about it, but it felt like obviously, we just go by feel because we don't have minion stats. But it felt like the minions were going faster. So, I mean,
it always felt like that, right? Whenever you had Rampage, that things were going faster.
Yeah.
But I guess it was the Rampage killing things. I don't know. That seems
You going faster because some of the minions still teleport to you when you like remember when the convocation like super slow cooldown, right? You were just like shield charging and hoping that your minions follow you like fast enough, right?
Yeah.
At some point.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to anybody that doesn't know, basically like Rampage doesn't work with minions, and everybody thought that it did, and apparently it hasn't been working with minions for like increasing the attack speed and or was it movement speed and
yeah,
damage?
it's movement speed and damage.
Yeah, movement speed and damage. It just hasn't worked for like 3 years or something. And
Yeah,
then we
and
kept building around it, all of us.
And I remember actually why they had to change this too. Because after I died in Dark Shrine League, I mapped a bit in Standard. And the person I was mapping with always liked to put Rampage on their maps. And the first map that we did, I had like 20 weapons. And literally every time they would fire a lightning arrow, the game would just freeze. Like, it'd completely lag out for like 10 seconds. Because it was applying the Rampage buff to all my weapons. I'm just like... We're just both like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, back in the time when you buffed your minions and you got a crazy lag spike. When you like your SRS went in and out of like a radius from your auras, there's like huge lag spike.
That got worse. That got worse after Ascendancy.
Yeah. But like the same effect.
Yeah.
That was always back and forth. You never knew when you're gonna get it. You thought like, oh, this is gonna be fine this league, and then it wouldn't be, and then the next league you could totally play it, and it was totally fine. Like I don't know.
It lasted for so long time too.
It's only recently they fixed it. Like
Wasn't
very
that when they'd
recently.
made persistent corpses? Wasn't that the same patch?
Sorry, what?
Wasn't the aura bug thing fixed when they did the persistent specters thing? I feel like that came out at the
No.
same
I think it
time.
This was before. I remember because I made a dominating blow Mjolnir low life character, and it would break the game because they had so many auras and everything. So my game would crash every time. I got to like Dried Lake, which was like the thing back then, and this was like a really expensive build back then. And yeah, my game would instantly crash. It would like lag spike to like 3000, and then it was just everything would explode and it would disconnect me, and the instance would crash. I was like, oh, my build doesn't work, rip. And then I sold off everything from the character, and like 3 days later they released a fix, and I was like, nah, no way they fixed it, but they fixed it completely. So like,
What patch was this? Like, do you
I think this
remember?
was the last league of Dried Lake farming.
I mean, that's just GGG in a nutshell, Leia. But okay,
Like-
so to try and get slightly back on then, because I think it's kind of interesting. So with SRS, would you want them to buff it at this point, and if so, how so? Or would you rework it into a new skill like they did with Incinerate?
Buff it.
I would just
I
buff
think
it.
it's an interesting concept that works, honestly. It's just
Yeah,
that
the
they
skill feels great to
nerf
play
it.
when it does enough damage. and
Yeah,
all that.
exactly.
So what's the
The
issue then? The
great
damage
example
or the
is-
mana cost or the accuracy? Like, when you say buff
All of
it,
them.
like, what would you do?
All of them, yeah.
I would
Oh.
even remove the accuracy, to be honest, entirely. Like, just make them have 100% accuracy, and then give them like basically what Covenant is, but without the downsides of it. Like, if you're playing with Covenant, SRS feels good enough. The Covenant basically makes it so that instead of having 20 SRS, you have 5 SRS, or a limit of 5 SRS. But they have like 150% increased physical damage, I think.
Wait,
And
is
then
it
if
the-
you're
you're-
wrestling with
the
that and
Flame
you got a
Sentinel
snake,
helm
it like
thing?
feels pretty alright.
Covenant
ta-
is the chest. You're talking
Oh,
about you're talking about the helm.
Yeah, you're talking about Red Covenant, Mark of the Red Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
there you go, Covenant. Hey, it's still called Covenant. But yeah, that thing makes it feel pretty alright. But obviously, you've got a limit of 5 SRS, so there's only so far you can take it. And using a bone helmet is pretty good, and all this sort of stuff.
And 150 additive damage isn't really all that much.
Yeah, at least not in game.
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Not
that
anymore.
thing
That's
though?
still
With because they recently added the accuracy node to the tree, and they had the new accuracy glove. So it seems like they just want the fix for minions to be you stack all this accuracy shit. But I just find it really weird that they gave Skellies the 100% accuracy thing. Like, why give it to just like one minion? Why not just like couldn't they've just made that like global and wouldn't that have fixed every problem?
I
I
mean,
still-
it gives different ways of like optimizing and itemizing, and you know, I mean, it's different ways of gearing, so it gives a different experience. I mean,
This was actually one of my suggestions. This is one of the things I pushed for a while, is them adding accuracy nodes to the tree, because there are mobs in the game that actually use the same skills that we do. So like whenever you get the Fire Beyond boss, it actually uses SRS.
Whoa.
So if they were to buff the accuracy on SRS, it would affect those mobs.
That's not true, though.
That's something like the skills
It's-
that they don't always use the same exact skill, even though it looks like
They
the same
never-
and it's named the same. I think it's always tailored differently.
Before
usually different,
they
but-
clarified that it was never. They never used the same skills.
Yeah.
I remember because of the whole like DD debacle and like changing the way DD works with dealing physical damage and whatnot in the past. And there was confirmation, but this was like 2 years ago or something. And they said that like things never use the same skill. It's just that it looks the same, but it's not the same. So
The only
I'm
thing that
pretty
they could work mechanically the same, like the doggies who had the incinerate, right? So the moment they fixed they removed the shotgunning, they no longer shotgun, but the skill itself doesn't do same amount of damage and everything.
Yeah, but when they changed Flame Totem, then those got affected. So
there were a bunch
there's
of
a lot of
it
things where they
was-
there's a lot of
Yeah.
things where they like change certain skills and then it causes something else to happen. Like look at the Storm Call thing. Val Storm Call gets entirely changed, and all of a sudden the next patch, Val Stormcall is busted as all hell on all mobs. Like it'll instantly kill you
Yeah.
if you got hit by it. That was for like the first 3 to 4 hours of a league.
Hey man, don't shoot the messenger. That's just what they told me
So-
in the past. But yeah, it doesn't follow up. I feel like there were many instances of that where a certain skill got buffed and then you could really feel it. I think it was also with Thina Moga with her shield charge that it started having like a larger AoE or something when they changed shield charge, and that was like really scary. So. But maybe that's an exile, so that's different.
Yeah, and the fucking Ellie hit guys, which fucking slap, by the way. Those guys chunk.
Yeah.
I checked POVTP about those guys, and it seems like they just do physical damage, and they have a chance to like inflict the effect.
Yeah.
No, they convert. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure they have
I-
some conversion too, but it doesn't just do ALE hits. Like,
Yeah, it's like a
you can go
wild
to
strike.
Yeah, you can go to POVTP right now and check the guys. They have like base damage, and then they have a chance to inflict Nailman. And of course, POVTP could be wrong. So
See,
Never
this is
seen it
the
wrong.
thing with everything to do with Path of Exile, because when people cite the wiki, I just laugh at them, because it's like all of this shit is so like outdated, you know.
But PoEDB
this is testable though.
No,
This is testable.
PvP is not.
You can test this though with like Gluttony and like Immortal Call and shit like that. This is like completely testable though. So we shouldn't argue. We should just go test it and see what it is.
I was going to follow up with saying, and that's why whenever I don't know anything, I just ask Karv, and then I do what he says. So yeah.
So you're gonna go
he's
test it
tested
now.
Because
So
Karv read
Karv-
it and
So
tested
So
it. So I'm
Tarke
like,
is gonna
okay.
test this. Thanks. Good.
Yeah. Okay. So
Somebody was saying something.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
okay then, so to kind of keep with the theme of like skills where you're like, oh, just buff it, don't rework it. Would you say the same thing about animate weapon? Because fuck that skill.
No, rework it, please, God.
I feel like anime weapon never worked, honestly, as like a skill.
It's like when it worked, it was
worked,
crazy overpowered, and
Yeah.
then when it doesn't, it's just like, ugh.
but it only works like 5% of the time. That's the thing. So like as a concept, I feel like it was cool when it was initially there and it would do things and it was kind of clunky and it would kind of work with like the core of the game, but like in like the last 3 years at least, it didn't work at all. And now with
I mean-
Delve, I mean shit.
Wait, when was Breach?
Breach was 2
Well,
years
but
ago.
that's bossing, right? So that's such a
No,
tiny
that's-
portion
no,
of the
Breach,
game.
No,
Castman,
it's just
that was Castman
everything
channeling came
Breach.
up then, right? It was like broken.
Entire league.
Yeah. Everyone was doing it for like Jayla runs and it was like ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the
Ever-
whole
Mapping
thing with the
and the
envy.
runs and all the bot. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It was
Oh,
like
I forgot
it was
about that,
the league,
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about those.
and there were so many weapons because Breach, you know, like everything spawning everywhere. Brah.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
Is there any place for it in its current state, do you think, Uber?
it's really not really, no. And I know somebody is going off like, but chains of command. No, that's not animate weapon. Please,
Yeah,
no.
it's a different
That's-
skill.
They just made better animate weapon builds. We have Dancing Dervish, and now we have like the Chain of Command. They just basically the same style, but works better.
How do you guys feel about that? Where it's kind of like we have this mechanic, it's a bit fucked, but we'll fix it through a unique item, then keep the fucked version in the game.
Ooh. That's a very weird way to approach things. But like that's also what they did with Threshold Jewels, sort of, right? Or it seemed like well, that's what it ended up being. I don't think that was the intention, but that's what it ended up being. And it's like kind of just like, yeah, you use the skill, you equip these things with like very tiny exceptions. I'm not really a huge fan of that because PoE is so customizable that I feel unless this is adding some sort of gameplay change where you're having more or less fun, possibly you're playing the game differently based off of this item, but it doesn't actually make it better, which is like Threshold Jewels as an idea, then it would work because it's still an option. But like this, I mean, it's just lame. You're covering up a certain piece of your gear frequently one that could add a lot to your build when it comes to the fun aspect, but not as much when it comes to like the strength aspect. But at the same time, it's an easier way to balance the game, right? Like, how do we balance this skill if it's going to be really overpowered with like Impulsa, for instance? Everything's overpowered with Impulsa.
Is there a
how do
skill
we
which
do this?
isn't
Well, we
really
give it a
overpowered
chest
with
beat.
Impulsa?
Yeah, but what if it's like
That was a
skill
terrible
that just
example.
arcs through an entire map, right? Like there's something that interacts with it, but I can't think of too many things where that's actually the case. That you
I can
equip
give
an
you
item and
a
it
really
blocks
good
out
example
another
for that.
item.
I can give you, so right now I want to make a mine character. So like the big thing for that is getting the +1 mine helmet, right? And that's the thing which annoys me quite a lot about PoE these days. It's kind of like if you want to play this build with how like Shaper and Elder item works, it's like, oh, you need this slot. So if that slot is tied up in a unique which makes the skill work, then you're not going to play it because it's just like I'm missing the thing. So that's where I think it's a kind of an issue.
It doesn't feel like a choice, it just feels bad.
Yeah, it just feels mandatory.
Much.
And that's
It
why
feels like-
one hand versus two hand is an issue as well. Because it's kind of like, well, I can't stat stick, so two hands shit.
It's kind of, it's like one step off of having set items, in a way. It's just that it doesn't take up your entire gears. It's just specific slots.
I mean, I don't think it's bad that we have these unique skills out there that like enables the play style. I mean, I think it's interesting having something like a dancing dervish where it's like, oh, I can't wear a shield or this, but I get this instead. So you have to make a choice.
Yeah, but that's almost a skill in itself, right?
Well, that's fine then.
Yeah,
'Cause
an
I think of dancing duo the same way I think about like whispering ice. It's just like it's just an item which gives its own skill. That's fine. And I
don't think
think
it should replace animate weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like anime weapon needs something else because ever since Shaper, they've just been adding more and more content that is just completely anti-animate weapon because there's these like boss fights that are in separate instances that have no weapons that drop or anything, and it's just like, well, what do you do?
I mean, maybe animate weapon is just one of those skills that just don't fit the game anymore. I think if anything, animate weapon probably like fits that. Where we don't have all this shit spawning everywhere. I mean, there are things that are going to be outdated. And I think that's just one of those things that is so tied to how the game used to work that it's just not. Like, unless you don't make it dependable on dropping weapons. I mean, what do you do?
I mean, to be fair though, you could have said the exact same thing about Detonate Dead because there were a lot of leagues where like Breach they didn't make corpses.
What?
Breach at the time. They didn't leave corpses that you could detonate, if I remember correctly. There was something.
That's
there was,
not true.
What league? There was a league
Beyond.
where you couldn't.
Beyond,
I think-
don't leave corpses.
Oh, okay.
I think you're thinking of Harbinger.
Maybe it was Harvey. Then. Yeah. No, it was Harvey. Yeah, it was Harvey and Beyond. But with
Beyond,
that,
it
they
was
then went.
still the most broken skill in the game.
Yeah, it's the best.
It was the best skill in the game, literally.
Because it would kill them after they came out.
Yeah. Oh.
Horrendous.
I do agree that it just doesn't work right. Like, I just don't think. I think it's okay to let some skills go to make room for like other skills that potentially might accomplish a similar playstyle, but in just a better way. Like, what really can you do with it that wouldn't feel like the summoner skills that we already have available? You can have like some of the things stick around through instances or something, but then that's like kind of a Spectre, and we have the Dancing Dervish and all that. Like, how much can you do with Glacial Hammer that's based off of freezing things that doesn't feel like every other melee skill in the game, right?
How would you feel? This would make it feel a lot like Volatile Dead, but how would you feel if stuff like Desecrate or Unearth left like animatable weapons?
It'd help.
So you could like start the map, spam Desecrate like 3 times, get your little army going. If you have to phase into a new room, drop like an Unearth totem, and you go. You'd have to like balance it, obviously, but.
But
you have to just make a new skill that just spawned random weapons.
Yeah, you can't. You can't really.
Why not?
But you could also just make it so that when an animated weapon hits something, it has a chance to refresh the duration.
That would
But
work.
then you would probably have to like, I don't know. Would you Would
Do
it
you
make
think
people
that's a good
use like
idea,
unique
though?
or rare weapons at that point, or would they just like animate random shit and then just hope that it like they go with that? Like that could solve the issue with that. You would have to still like get the weapons like doing delves, right, to start it, but then they could keep going from there.
I
Yeah,
think
'cause-
I think the beauty of something like animate weapon is that you have this opportunity cost, right? There's you go into the boss room. If you haven't spawned enough, you're like, fuck. You have to either like fill your inventory, you have to find some other way of making sure that you have the weapons that you need.
Yeah.
And if you just take that away, it's just SRS.
You know what I would
Yep.
really like?
Skill, yeah.
I
Would
don't know
be-
if I created the idea of that your skill literally can't do something if you don't do a specific thing. Like animate weapon, like either you animate weapons before the boss, or you hope that you have the enough duration from the map that you go in and just like insta kill the boss. I don't know if I agreed to that completely.
How would you
I
feel
mean,
about?
people use Vaults, like Vault Discipline, right, on their RF characters. It's just a way to make a build. If it runs out before you kill the boss, too bad. You can't do it.
Yeah, but that's not the build itself.
What would
The
you?
Wall Righteous Fire.
It's
It's like an
All
addition.
Righteous Fire, just for the Righteous Fire, like the Alira's build.
What
Can I
if you
speak
got?
to? Can I speak to? Interrupt Tarke too. Okay, go ahead, Tarke.
What if they got rid of animate weapon, but only had a Vol version where like you press it and it animates everything in the area? That would be really cool because you could use it as like a supplementary skill. It would feel way fucking better, and it could still have that old identity. If you were playing a summoner which didn't want to use Vol summon Scalies, you could bring an inventory full of weapons into the boss room, bar animate weapon them, and then your specters would do thing, you know.
Yeah, but then isn't that just like another thing that
Or it's just an
it's
option.
not. 'Cause
That's another.
Nugi said the beauty of animated
Yes.
weapon,
Mhm.
and the reason why I didn't play animate weapon is because I don't understand the beauty of it. But like your suggestion would just change that entirely, and so you don't want things to feel too different.
Like Incinerate.
Also, changing summoner things.
Incinerate
with
doesn't feel different.
Changing
Did you
summoner
play
things with
Incinerate?
Val's.
I
Changing-
got
God
we
damn
have to
it.
finish this. No,
I played
did you play
Incinerate.
Incinerate?
Yeah, I played Incinerate
Did
old
it-
than you.
Doesn't it feel just like
it feels,
old?
It
but
feels very different because old Incinerate was like life gain on hit. I hold this down, I don't let go. New Incinerate is I hold it down, release, hold it down, release. Oh, my wave is shit. Like it's good like with Impulsor and shit, but like it feels completely different to play because you're counting in your head like release stacks, charge up. It's very different gameplay.
okay, but you played old Incinerate back when.
Back when
It
you went
worked,
max
right?
block Sybils. And it was the reason
Yeah,
why it
that's
was
like-
good was because of life gain on hit.
It's like 4 years ago. Like the recent Incinerate just would never
Yeah, it
play
was
like
shit because
that.
it didn't do any damage and they raised the mana cost. Basically, Incinerate was amazing and they're like, we need to nerf it to fuck. They nerfed it to fuck and then left it dead for 3 years. No, I didn't play it when it was dead for the 3-year period that no one played it.
Yeah, because it was dead.
But
It
they
just
could have
didn't
just
fit
lowered
anything.
the mana cost and raised the damage and it would have been fine.
In there.
I don't even think damage would fix it. I think casting
Yes, it
would be
would.
the way to
Yes.
fix it.
The other thing you need to remember
Damage
is
definitely fixed it.
there were lots of things
way.
which came out recently, like for example stuff like Immolate, right? When Immolate came out, if Incinerate didn't have like crazy mana costs and stuff, and you could be like, oh, I could support it with Immolate if I could get shit to ignite, and the fact that it didn't have the whole crit thing as like Incinerate had so many weird things with it, like the crit chance. Then the last time I played Incinerate was Horrendous. That was the last time I remember because I did Fire to Chaos conversion, but then they killed that.
I don't think damage would have done it. That's because Immolate didn't really change anything for it, even though it would literally double the damage. I think the change would have been better with cast speed than making it more active and interesting, and having an opportunity cost based off of the mana. And even then, I think the new Incinerate would have been better. And there's better ways of introducing the new old Incinerate back into the game. If it really does feel that much different for you guys.
Just to finally say, as we talk about the best summoner skill that is Incinerate, wouldn't it have been better if they fixed old Incinerate and they made new Incinerate a cold skill?
I mean, sure.
What?
I'm down for that.
New Incinerate should have been a cold skill. It would have made so much more sense, and it would have fixed the problem.
The thing is,
No, it should have
you
been a
guys-
lightning skill.
Yeah, but
So we
I
can
think
use it with
lighting
Impulsa.
too.
We just have Stormburst. It's like the same thing. Sort of.
Exactly.
do you guys
No.
really care about like skill identity and all this sort of stuff and
Yes.
things
Yes.
not feeling similarly? Because the thing is, I wouldn't mind two abilities that accomplish something different, but they kind of feel the same way.
Like
It's still
Flame
variety.
Blast and
It's
Incinerate.
like it's still variety to me. Like, you know, if PoE had like we always talk about the graphical options and like having rain and all this sort of stuff and just different colors and things. If it was that, I really wouldn't mind it. So yeah, in a perfect world, even if the new Incinerate and the old Incinerate were to be like the old fixed Incinerate were to be similar, I would still like it. Just yeah, make it like make one lightning and the other one cold, and that completely makes it another ability, even though it plays very similarly. Therefore, in a way, the skill identity is like skewed, but you build it differently. So
Yeah,
does
that's
that
the whole thing. It's like you built. It's
is
like
that skill identity?
Well, no, because that's what makes it interesting. Is it's like, oh, I have this item. So, for example, if they made a new SRS, but it's scaled completely differently, then you still have the old one, and it's like, well, what do I want to build around? Like, that's what makes it interesting.
But to me, skill identity is relevant to the actual gameplay and not the way you build up your character. But maybe that's just like a skewed way
Okay,
of
so
looking
for
at it.
example, then, do you think that many of the melee skills have skill identity? You just play whichever one does the most AoE. Like, you just do the one which has the most clear.
Sort of. Sure. But they do feel differently.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
do.
thing.
I mean, I think PoE does it well with skill identity overall.
Unless you introduce an item like Impulsa that makes every self-cast ability feel exactly the same.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
the helmet
Finally.
as well.
I was like waiting to say Impulsa
Yep,
at some
yep.
point during all this.
Yeah, people complain about lore weave, but like with lore weave, you're still
Ah.
fucking using your main ability. But with Impulsa, you're just like playing Explodey Dude no matter what. Like, how effectively can I trigger an entire screen explosion? Like, so with
How can
melee,
I-
like that totally works.
How can I scale lightning damage and area damage to do enough damage with Impulsa that it one-shots mobs without me touching them?
No.
Would the fix to SRS be every SRS is wearing Impulsa?
Okay.
Could we
That would
not?
be a fix to every skill.
Impulsa was something that was on the topic list that I wanted to talk about later on, but since we're talking about
Oh.
it now, how do you guys feel about the fact that we have got these just generic be-all, you just wear this, your build works? And since we recently got Spiritual Aid and Spiritual Command, they seem to be pushing that even more. You just scale everything this way.
Fucking Impulsa.
Yep.
That's all I've got to say on
Fuck
this.
Impulsa.
Everything else is fine, honestly. Like, the minion nodes are a little bit tricky because it's just such an effective way to scale so many different builds. But I understand why they exist. And I think overall the positioning of them is pretty good. Maybe I would move the minion wheel a little bit further down south to the Marauder. Maybe like where like the staff wheel is, so that it's a little bit more opportunity cost, so not every single person who plays a self-caster picks them up, and like you don't have this global scaling. And in a way that also wouldn't really fuck with minion builds, because you still have to travel there, unless you're one of those people that travels like through the Scion to the Duelist and then back to the Marauder through the middle. Screw that should make no sense. So you're making a wrong decision. Okay. Because right now everybody just picks up minion nodes. Like I don't maybe you guys have played like a self-caster or anything really that was in the top of the skill tree that didn't pick those up.
I don't think
You always
I've played
do.
a single build this league which hasn't taken that cluster.
Yeah.
I played a
It's the
few.
same thing for me.
Yeah, me too. The only issue was
mean-
that I had more efficient nodes at the time, but eventually I would have taken them anyways.
You know why self-casters take it? Because it scales Impulsa.
It's a big reason, yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly for explosions, right? Impulsa and like Shaper maces, right? For the boom boom.
I mean,
Any
it
kind
scales
of boom boom.
everything, right? It scales.
Yeah, it
Glad
scales everything.
explosions, everything.
I mean, they aren't that strong. The nodes. I mean, they're strong. They're good, and they're just generically they work with everything, right? So you get like you just get good value nodes.
I,
If you're
I think
not
I
if
think
you're not right next to them, unless you have a boom boom build, you don't really want to like go out of your way to get them.
Yeah.
it's not just a node; it also enables item pieces to give you damage, like bone helmet and
Yeah,
prefix.
that's true.
On like, it's just not. I think it's like 69% damage for 5 points with regen, and probably something else I'm missing. But
And it
It's
enables
good
like
nodes.
40% on the
yeah.
helmet, 20 on the gloves, like 100 on the weapon. Like
Yeah,
that's a lot of global damage.
It's also one of the best sources of attack speed as well in that part of the tree.
Yeah.
You take spiritual.
See, but
phase
I
as
really
well.
like that because I feel
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
Yeah.
is good. Like that node is in a good spot on the skill tree where you don't feel like you're picking it up 100% of the time. For instance, if you're playing like crit non-AoE builds, which happens pretty frequently now, you wouldn't really travel to the Templar unless you're picking up MOM.
Are you wait, so for these
Or
crit,
if you're going CI,
so hang on, what these crit spellcaster builds which aren't AoE or mind over matter, which don't go near Templar. What builds that?
any
My
CI build.
Pathfinder is not MOM, and I still go for the nodes. Okay.
Listen,
And it's
CI
okay,
builds are
it's the
popular.
crit
Any
build
CI
either.
build, really. You would never travel there with CI, ever. Because you always travel through Foresight, and if you want Curse Nodes, then you pick that up. The AoE is totally not worth
No,
it.
but what you need to remember though, Raiz, is that you often, like, you get CI, you wrap through the bottom, you get Duration
Sure.
or Curse. You often route up this way because it's the most efficient through the jewel. And then that node, the attack
You
speed
never
node
did
here,
that.
it's only 3 points to it, and you get the top Templar node, which gives 24% increased damage because it gives you your own damage and minion damage.
I mean, you can be in Templar without going to minion. It's really inefficient going all the way up. If you're like,
I
let's say
don't
you have
think you
like
would do
phase
that.
acro and acro, and you're like Shadow Witch and Templar, and then you have to go all the way over to left. You can then decide: do I go down to acro and phase acro, or do I go?
I'm
left
talking.
side?
I'm talking about the attack speed node, not the damage node.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
The
only
attack speed
situation where I
node
can
is
agree
so
with
close
you,
to Templar, like nearly every build takes it.
the only situation that I can agree with you, Tarky, where you would loop around that way, because would be pretty much a CI build that needs MOM for mana reasons. That's just about it. So like Indigon builds and like weird shit like that. Because otherwise you always loop through the top because the increased damage nodes are just way too efficient for either crit or anything else.
you know what we need right now? We need Karv to get like a whiteboard, and he just has like a nicely made passive skill tree already, and he'll like just so he can like show us where we are right now on the skill tree, so everyone can follow.
Talking about the
No.
attack speed nodes on Templar, the minion attack speed convergence
Yeah.
stuff.
Traveling
Why
through
would you-
Foresight. So
Okay,
you
so-
loop around to CI, then travel through Foresight, and then you go up to the Templar, through the Jewel, through Elemental Equilibrium, all this sort of stuff. You would never go to the Templar this way. You would always travel through the Lightning and Fire
okay.
nodes up top.
For these CI builds, which don't need AoE or whatever, blah blah blah, sure. But for most
Delve, don't need AoE.
for most spellcasters and for most totem builds, you're getting those. Especially totem builds, because totem builds share
Totem
the
builds,
point
sure.
with the other one.
I
Totem
mean,
builds
you're
totally makes sense.
you're like every single life build is going to be close to them because
Live
those
builds, yeah.
life nodes are insane.
Yeah.
Like you're going into that tree, especially the node before it. The node before it does a lot of damage. It's 14 damage, and it also has minion damage on it, and attack and cast speed. And so you're
but
going in for that.
Realistically, like you're picking up 4% nodes. Like where really are you getting that? Like the thing is, I think that was GGG's thinking about the damage nodes, for instance, that yeah, you can pick up this wheel and yeah, you can get someone gear, but you can't effectively pick up more damage on the skill tree other than Lord of the Dead. Because you wouldn't pick up the Spectre nodes and you wouldn't pick up the like zombie node by the Scion because it's not efficient because you have to go through other nodes, unless you have the attack speed node as well, in which case you're having like a pretty severe investment into something that isn't crit, which isn't that popular. Like, I think that was their logic. I think it was flawed, but
for all the builds I've
works.
taken that on, I've taken that node, I've routed through the 2 minion damage nodes in which I've taken the 15% minion damage node that you take on the way to Scion Life Wheel, and then if I need more attack speed, I also route through the attack speed.
20, I think it is. The Scion node one?
The Scion node is 15, then attack speed 20.
It's 20. Oh, 15 attack speed, expecting 20. Okay, yeah. I get it. Yeah.
And then you get the bound weapon scaling, you then get the bone helmet as a free enchant on every build, then every jewel, which can get like, that's the main, I think the attack speed one is really like spoopy because how much like minion attack speed you can get on jewels and stuff. Like, you get, that's the main source of attack speed for like spellcasters, I think, in that part of the tree. Hands down.
I feel like they were just like pushing the limit, because like, we had those crazy efficient nodes in the Shadow Tree where it was like 4% cast speed and attack speed, and they're like, well, we introduced these and they didn't actually end up being used all that much, so like, just how far can we go with this? It almost feels like that.
Wait, they weren't? It felt like they were being used. The shadow nodes?
No, because we were like, I think everybody was planning to use it, and then it turned out that Incursion was like you had a whole bunch of Chaos Spitters fire shit at you, and you're like, oh well, I guess I should probably pick up Phase Acro.
Just run out of points. They're good nodes, but you just always run out of points.
Yeah, I agree with Karv.
Mm-hmm.
You would get them on your way to 100, right? Like 95 plus.
Yeah, if you wanted, if you were a spellcaster that wasn't running, you took those because they just gave you so much killer speed. But you didn't really need that in a lot of builds, right? Not many people actually want to go for 100. And then when it comes to efficiency like points, then there's a lot of good points out there. So they're just like leftover points that you take when you're like getting to min-maxing and get high levels.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in Incursion, most people were playing Trappers, and the cut-off speed didn't scale the Trappers that much outside of... Like, so that made it less efficient. I feel like if self-cast was more of a thing, then those nodes would have been way more of a thing.
If self-cast was more of a thing that actually scaled off of cast speed and not Impulsa.
Fucking
Impulsa, by the way.
Ruining every discussion.
Summoner, by the way.
I think Pro Spin is just as bad for self-casting as saying.
So, okay then, so since we're like, fuck these minion nodes, but fuck Impulsa, fuck perks, what do you want? Do you just want more options like these? So like, there are like 10
not
different
like
kinds of Impulsa, so you pick which
one? I like the minion nodes. I like the minion nodes. I think they're actually great.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I like strong things, even if they dictate the way my skill tree is shaped. Even if it's very significant, like the minion nodes, I like them so much more over things like Impulsa because, again, I'm still fucking playing the same ability. It's just stronger. And yeah, there's a little bit less versatility, but realistically, in Path of Exile, it only really gives you the illusion of choice, where 95% of the time, you have things that are simply going to be better than other things, depending on the type of content that you're doing, right? But that's also what's cool about Delve, is because you have to build a much more versatile character, and that's where the decisions come in. But if you're focused on like one type of play, which is either mapping or bossing or MFing, there's only one right decision ever. And so I'm okay with that because you're still playing the main ability.
Question.
Ooh.
How would you feel if they separated the minion? So let the minion damage node still be the minion damage node, but the minion attack speed one is changed to totems. Like if it was a totem wheel where it's like totem attack and cast speed scaled you. So that way people won't get both. They'll get one or they'll get the other one.
What?
Huh?
Okay.
Did you just say totem attack and cast speed? Totem attack and cast speed scale you instead?
Yeah, so the minion wheel, right? That
how much of that do you have in the skill tree?
No. Let me say. Okay, because some of you are confused. The minion spiritual command is the one which makes minion damage affect you. Yeah. change the node, which gives you minion attack speed, affects you. Change that to a totem cluster.
Why?
So that way it's more interesting, because currently it just seems like minion shit just generically carves any build in that part of the tree. So any build just takes that. Whereas now it'd be like you would have this really strong generic cluster if you take minion stuff, or you'd have this really strong generic cluster if you took totem stuff. So you would change how you...
But
I think
totem stuff doesn't like scales off of other things other than totem stuff. It scales off of like spell damage and all that. Like minions, what do we have? We don't even have generic damage scaling minions. So it's kind of like...
I think what Tarke's trying to say is like there's a bigger investment there because you're not just picking up minion stuff, but instead you're picking up this thing, and then that can dictate, like, for instance, if you travel to like, what is it called, Stonewood or something like that, the totem node.
Basically, what I'm saying is it just seems a bit crazy that you have these two very powerful nodes which scale everything which wants them that close to one another with very little opportunity cost. So basically, I'm saying, how do you feel if they were either not that close to one another or had some opportunity cost?
But
I like that idea, but I don't like it being totems. But
yeah, sure. That was just an example. They could change it to anything.
You have to remember why they were added. They wanted to enable new playstyle, which was like an attacker minion build, right? Like they wanted to enable the Guardian type builds where you do shit your own and then you have the minions on top.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the minion stuff is going to pick that up no matter what, even if you were to cut like the effectiveness of these nodes in half, and like that would still mean that in a lot of cases you would still pick those up on builds that are completely unrelated to minion shit. So it's a tough thing to balance, I think, for them. To be honest, I think it's fine the way it is right now because it's not that overpowered, even though it's really strong and it hasn't gotten boring yet. But I think this is definitely something that's going to be getting changed in like a league or two, where they're going to be like, okay, everybody's picking this shit up. We got to do something about it. Fresh, make it fresh. Okay. I would like traps.
I don't know why you want to. I don't get why you guys want to kill the nodes so badly.
Yeah,
that you
the
think
nodes are so nice.
Not kill them. Just make it so that not every skill tree looks the same.
But it doesn't. I just disagree. And end game anyways, you want to go for dual slots. They just trump any of those minion nodes in the end.
Yeah.
So it's like they're good and they enable different play styles and they're powerful and at certain times, but there are definitely many trees where you don't want to go all the way to the left and up.
So then, would you like to see more nodes like that in other parts of the tree?
Sure.
Okay.
I think more options on the tree. I think more options on the tree would be great. I mean, the tree hasn't changed much in a long time, so the new minion nodes is probably the biggest thing that we've gotten in a while.
The tree's in a good spot, I feel like, though.
I wonder when the EE change is coming, because I remember them talking about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They never did anything with that, huh?
I don't think they know what to do with that, because that affects so many builds. Like, the EE change affects summoners, it affects RF, Scorching Ray, and I feel like they just wanted to, like, they want to nerf RF, but they don't know how to do that with, like, breaking everything else.
I'm not sure if they... Do you think it's just because of RF? I think it's more like they don't thematically like the way the node is being used.
Yeah, I think
when you look at its intent, it's like you want to have this alternating playstyle with like damage types. I think that's what they wanted it to thematically, but it just never became that.
Yeah, it's just used as a removing resistance for your main like element. That's it pretty much.
Yeah.
You can in theory play like a EE elemental hit, but that's pretty much it. Like, no, people don't switch skills between that much. Like, you don't alternate two different skills. It's also pretty awkward to scale two type of elements. Granted, we have the minion nodes now that you could do it, right? But
hey, we can talk about summoners again though, because equilibrium is so essential to summoners. It feels like so.
Well, I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about other things, but everything we've talked about is directly because of like summoner stuff. Like the whole incinerate thing was talking about SRS. This whole thing with like Impulsor was talking about that minion wheel. You know, talk about RF now is because of EE, because of summoners. You know, it's all related.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
E is a weird thing on summoners in general, right? Because it feels so essential on some builds, and then it's so useless on others. And I guess that's the nature of EE in general, and that's why they're trying to change it. But like realistically, what can you do so that it won't feel like shit for others? It's kind of like fossil farming, right? Like you're trying to make it so that these fossil farmers will get less fossils, but at the same time, you don't want to be fucking over the people who are normally playing the game. I feel like that's kind of what they ran into with EE.
Okay, do you think they're fine with EE from the support point of view, like the support builds and the summoners? Like, do you think that they're okay with?
Maybe.
I think it's maybe too strong in their
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, I think it's too strong because it doesn't like curses, right, are strong until you start fighting bosses. Okay, there are ways to make curses really good against bosses too, but like E is just like a flat -50, like regardless. There's like nothing that like lowers the effect of it.
Mm,
It
It's like
kind of feels like it feels like it changes summoner a lot because like it's there's also another thing that's powerful, which is Necroagus. But Necroagus has a downside in that not only do you lose your shield, you also actually have to use a shield. So I mean, Equilibrium is just like if you had a choice between the two, well, you're probably taking Equilibrium.
I mean,
it
it does have a
forces,
downside. It forces gear, right? And like,
It forces you to use different like spells, and it forces you to actually be able to apply it. So every summoner build essentially becomes how do I apply my EE and not make my minions run around like idiots. Those are like your two main goals. Can I
Yep.
make my minions follow me and shoot, and then can I EE?
yeah, but the unfortunate part of that is the solution, right? It's like
Which
ball
is?
lightning or shield charge.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Both.
Yeah. Or both, sure. if you're into that, if your build allows
I think
it.
that's my only problem right now, really, with EE. It's just like kind of like everything that any build that uses it kind of ends up being like, feeling very, very much the same.
Yep.
The one thing I will say is the one time I've only ever enjoyed EE is when I played a Stormfire Arc Ignite build this league, and that was because I didn't have to apply EE. I just played Arc, and that felt I felt good, and I was like, yay! But like the whole point was I was basically ignoring the mechanic because I was just getting it for free, you know. So I don't know. So on the whole, like, how do you feel about one thing completely dominating? To go to like the Spectre thing, do you think it's an issue that like Solar Guards are just like they do everything?
No.
I mean, there are other options. Yeah, go ahead.
Like, there's a lot of options for Spectres. It's the problem of their survivability. Like, even with the 100% minion, the 100% Spectre life node, Cannibal Fire Eaters still die. They're ridiculously strong single target. They're probably the best thing after 2 Gamma Vanguards. Well, not 2 Gamma Vanguards, but Diatus got hit pretty hard. But
I don't know. Shaper still died within one beam when I did it yesterday or 2 days ago. With 4 Vanguards and Skelly is using Combustion for even less.
Yeah, but that's like
yeah.
sometimes you deal so much damage and sometimes you deal no damage. I felt like that was always kind of the case. It's like, if they decide to attack, whoa, this is so crazy. And then they don't attack for like 15 seconds straight. You're just running.
That's why Vanguards are so cool, because they place the totem, you get the Scorching Ray, you get the debuff that lasts for the amount of time. It doesn't matter how stupid your specters are between that, because the damage is still dealt. You can't just like run around whatever and they're still doing damage. That's why they're so good.
Yeah, well.
Do you think we should have a better way of interacting with our monster's health pool? I mean, I know you can get the potion, some regen, but the potions with the specters and the minions having such a high health pool, they don't do much. And when they start taking a lot of damage, you'll never catch up.
It's also such a huge opportunity cost because if you're using an animation roll in your flask, that's like you're not using another unique flask there.
Yeah, but even if that worked.
Even if it worked, I don't know if like animation was a full
I
heal
like
for your
that, though.
minions, would
No,
you
I
guys
think the
use it
potions are
over other
fine.
flasks?
I think the potions would be cool if they were to be more powerful, to be honest. I think that would be a perfect opportunity because it's like, well, they work really well if you're leveling. And in the past, you would make the decision between, well, do I heal my minions so that I can continue the fight? Or do I potentially keep this if my minions die and then I need a potion to survive? And like you had that actual choice there because potions weren't just something that was infinitely there and available. So I really like the potions if they were to be just like a lot more powerful. But
So a way to scale them over time.
Yeah, sure. Just give it like 300. It's like I think right now it's like 50% of the potion or something. Works on your
40 to 60.
Yeah, I think it's like that. Yeah, and make it like 300 to be honest, and then it would maybe kind of work.
I mean, they could always just make a % heal one. That would do it as well.
Yeah, sure.
What about if you had like frontline totems that don't just off-screen everything? Because I think when you get frontline totems, they can just get crushed. Like when they can't move, they just take so much damage everywhere, right? And you can't keep them alive. So unless we have something where it's like, I don't know, like Heal, and you just stand there and you blast your minions, right, with healing, or you have like some channeling spell that gives you like something to interact with your minions more, that gives you like an active playstyle if you want to have beefier like frontline minions, where it's not just about either they survive everything or they just like fall over and die.
Yeah.
That would also be really nice for totem builds, because totem builds feel kind of weird as well at the moment, because it's just kind of like you reach a certain level of content, especially with like Delve, it's like they just die now. Having a way to like interact, I don't know if you guys agree, but like totems and minions, I kind of consider them sort of the same thing because they're basically the same thing.
They feel similar, yeah.
Yeah. It would be cool if there was like either like a flask, as you said, or like a spell we could use to keep our shit alive. But...
Yeah, I'd like that.
There is a flask or a spell, not quite. There's a belt that you can use, you know, to keep your shit alive.
Yeah.
Well, that's a tricky belt to use though, because you can't really use it for yourself.
Not having flask kind of makes it
slight opportunity cost.
It also shares a base with Headhunter, so when you go into a reliquary key, you hate it.
Oh my god. Yeah, but I mean, it's a cool concept. I really like that. Those sort of items that like it doesn't work because it's too much. But if it were to be like, I don't know, something where you can make on the belt, maybe if it was a ring instead of a belt, and then this ring would be like, depending on the gem that you've got in it, it either makes it so that your potions affect you 100% of the time and your minions 50% of the time, or if you have another color gem, then your potions affect you 50% effectiveness and your minions 100% effectiveness.
It sounds like you're really over-engineering this problem.
Yeah,
that would be really cool.
I feel like the belt should just be X% of your flasks affect your minions too, with a harsher.
Like yeah, but then it would be mandatory, right?
No, do you make it so big that it's a big opportunity cost? It's still taking a headhunter slot or like
Visco's leash or something.
Yeah. Or a good Abyss belt with a really good jewel.
Visco's leash, who needs that shit on summoner builds? Huh? Fuck.
Oh, how about something like instead of wither, it's called empower. I mean, I want to call it empower, even though that's Jim called that already. But let's say, and then you have like an AOE channeling skill, and you need to hit your minions. You empower them, fortify them, or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Attacking your own minions. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's like because like spirit offering and flesh offering's fucking boring. So something like this, sure. I'd
I'd
like
rather
that.
I'd rather take that to cast corpses to sacrifice for the offering. You have to use 2 skills to do it. Now you could just do 1. Like it was so much smoother, and it would give me more options on my my abilities on my health bar. I have like 3 builds that are like running low because like wall skills and everything.
Yeah, that's another thing is the amount of skill slots you have. You have 7, maybe 8 if you find a way like desecrate on left click.
I have it on my left click. It feels so bad because I have the whole shift for when I use it. It's just so bad.
I had to change it to F. I had to change my.
And
I
I'm still missing 2 skills. I have like, okay, so I have shield shards, I have skellies, wall summon skellies, desecrate. I have offering. Did I say desecrate already? Then I have ball lightning for EE and curse on hit, and I can't have flame dust. Like I literally just like ditch flame dust from my gear because I can't use it. I just can't use it. It feels so bad.
Is Convocation instant now?
Sorry, what?
Is Convocation instant now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that was changed, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It feels good.
How do you guys feel about that? Like,
Oh,
in
it's
terms
amazing.
of, like, yeah, right? I feel like a lot of other skills could really use a cast speed buff on summoners in general.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
think a
good.
lot of skills in general could just do the cast speed buff. Yeah. The other thing which I like about buffing cast speed stuff is that I think buffing cast speed is a really nice way to help builds which actually cast without like crazy nerfing shit like Poet's Pen or Cast on Crit. Because it always felt like in the past, like, oh, this thing's too strong, so they'll just like completely fuck the timer on it. Whereas if you buff cast speed, then you help actual builds which cast, but you don't help, traps or poets or whatever.
But it affects totems. But just whatever. Let's buff the gas speed still, regardless.
So
Cast speed.
Yeah, man, cast speed.
Cast speed is in a weird spot, huh? But
Yeah,
like, it works so well, like through skills like Incinerate, if you really scale it properly. It's kind of weird because skill tree wise, it's terrible, but like gear wise, it's in a good spot. I wish they could look into the skill tree. I think so. Like, especially with so many things like dual wielding, you can just get 50% cast speed off of your weapons and shit. And like jewels, you can really scale cast speed really ridiculously. You can get like 16% cast speed jewels and then slap those onto, possibly something like further enforcing that. I think it's pretty nice.
Don't say
but then
duper.
it doesn't have a use. What?
Don't say Impulsor. But so one thing one thing I wanted to smoothly segue into like 20 minutes ago, when you were talking about the belt, and because that's the thing, a lot of people try and like when they try and fix summoners, like, oh, use this unique. There is a very popular series of summoner builds involving golems that a lot of people don't play because they don't like the fact they're so like tied to uniques. How do we feel about the fact that it's just gonna like, oh, you want to play a golem build? Do you have these 20 fucking items?
What the fuck? I don't get it.
What items?
The primordial gems,
weapons,
jewels,
amulets, 12 different jewels.
He's making a joke how it's
don't drop an
impossible to
SSF,
get them. Okay, I get it. But I don't know why they're not just regular threshold jewels. They're already such a large opportunity cost with abyss jewels and everything, and fossil crafting, all this sort of shit. Just make them threshold jewels on the vendor. Like I don't understand.
It's not just threshold jewels. Like the way golem builds, you build them. You basically build them like a Grand Spectrum build. How you used to build Grand Spectrum, except you need a whole bunch of different ones. So that's kind of the issue there. And granted, with the AI being changed a bit, like they fixed the whole minion freezing bug when things were too far away, which unfortunately broke Katava Heroes, which are now fixed, thankfully. But so they fixed that. I don't feel like you need the aggressive jewel that much, except you need it anyways because you need to make an anima stone. And it does kind of bother me a little bit that you need so many because we've got like it's especially bothered me a bit because The problem with the golem build right now in hardcore is literally that you can't get enough harmonies because the economy is so small. You actually can get a might, but you can't get enough harmonies. Even though might is the rarest one.
Wait,
So-
what?
Yeah.
How do you mean? You can't
Because-
get it.
There are not enough people selling them. The economy
Because
is
you
too
need
small.
like 7 or 9 harmonies to get enough damage, because that's how you get all your damage. You get 20% per different golem that you have summoned, and then you have the cooldown reduction. The cooldown reduction by itself is enough to make you want to get that. But
Okay.
It's the same exact issue that you used to have with Grand Spectrum builds, because if one person is playing it, he needs 10. So then it's how many people is playing this build in hardcore. So if Uber's like, oh, I'm playing golems, and then like everyone in hardcore says, oh, I want to play that too, suddenly every single person playing that build needs 10, and then it's like fucked. And that's
Feels
also
math,
why,
math.
even if you put it on the vendor from your Act 5 thing, it's like, oh, it's on the vendor, cool, let me just make 15 characters to Act 5 so I can then play my build to get every single jewel. Like, no, fuck that.
I like that.
Dude,
No.
I'm actually considering leveling characters to Act 7 to get the Conqueror's potency.
oh
Is
my
that to
god,
buy-
To get AoE or reduced
Yeah.
reduced mana
Why are
corruption
the-
on it.
why is this not on the vendor yet? I don't understand that.
So much of that just fucked me off, because it's just like, I've been in that exact situation, Karv. I have muled those to try and get corruptions on, and I did it like 3 times. I was just like, I like myself too much to force myself to do this even more, because fuck this.
I think that's next though, like vendors, or maybe that's even with Forsaken Masters, because like that's a big part, the loot rewards and everything with Forsaken Masters. And now that we know that the next expansion is targeting that, maybe a lot of this stuff is going to change. I mean, they are literally vendors.
I mean, they could add stuff like it, because I'm like, but there's I do like that there's like you can't just like, you know, because if you put them on the vendor, let's say they're on Alc or whatever, I mean, I think that's like way too low. But actually having, say, like a jewel vendor where he sells jewels, like they'll be pretty expensive, but they will be obtainable without having to re-roll a character, say. I think that would be cool.
I think
I
you
mean,
just
I
sell
think
them.
this idea that, oh, just put this on the vendor, that on the vendor. Oh, I can't get this thing, so this needs to go on the vendor. Oh, I can't. It's impossible to. But so that's again, it's PoE, right? Oh, I found a couple of these. Oh, I finally have the things I need, right? Instead of it's like I just have it all available. It makes it more exciting.
It's true.
I would agree when it comes to, so for example, it's like you want to play an Impulsor build, you wait until Impulsor drops. But Nugi, for example, let's say you want to play a miner back when Detonate Mines was like fucking mandatory, and it's like, oh, I've leveled to 97, I haven't a Detonate Mines drop. I guess I'm just gonna struggle along until it eventually fucking drops, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you add like some expensive, like some more expensive pieces in there, I mean, make them cost like 20 chaos, like 12 even.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
that'd be
know.
cool. Yeah, I'd be into that.
Just have like more things that you can like buy from the vendors, right, at certain costs, so you know, like, oh, I have to like
But
save
it
on
has to
this
be,
much, and they're powerful.
it has to be a large cost though, because
Yeah, it
like you're
does.
fucking with the economy way too much. Like if it would all be like one alchemy or something, I really think it should be like something in a way you work towards, and also something that if you potentially drop if you're playing the game, then it feels rewarding. Because I think the more things dropping that have a baseline cost built around something else in the game is like a good thing for, well, any video game economy. Because then if you're like, maybe you're just playing the game like a month into a league or something like that, then you can actually build around these things. And especially in softcore where the economy gets really ridiculous really fast, where if you're playing a month into the league and your character's slow as fuck, then you're really very rarely finding things that are actually useful until you find something that's like super crazy, right? But if you're not finding anything for a long time, then it feels like trash. And so having this like baseline cost so that you can build up to certain things is pretty nice.
There's a few things they could do. One thing which would be kind of cool would be like, so you know how when you get your masters to level 8, you rotate the daily just to see like uniques? Would be like if the masters, the uniques they offered were more like tailored, right? So let's say Virici was the jewel guy. Every day there'll be a random unique jewel in his thing. That wouldn't be broken because you've got to get him to level 8 first.
So nobody would ever see that because nobody ever gets free Chi-8.
I mean, I've got it in SSF, but like,
Whoa.
That sounds so. And then you don't get
What the fuck?
you don't get the random jewel you need, and I mean,
one thing I would like more of just in general, I made a video saying this like 3 years ago, would be if you just got more rewards while leveling. Because some people like hate leveling. You know, imagine if it was like when you killed Katava in Act 5, he dropped a shitty leveling unique, like a Gold Rim, or a Wanderlust, or whatever. It wouldn't affect most people, but for like new guys starting out or league start, it's like a kind of a cool thing. You know, have it stuff like that.
People were talking shit about like the China racers and stuff, and when the China race was happening, and they would go down and like kill Dweller, and everybody's just like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Are they even racing? But it was because they, on the Chinese servers, these like side quests, they actually reward you with unique items.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Targeted the poet's pen farming or something, maybe like certain bosses. I mean, nice. I don't know about
you can also just have
Dweller.
the boss drop it.
I think what you're getting at is what Diablo 2 had, which was like quest loot from bosses.
Yeah.
Sort of. But
So,
that's
like-
you don't even know about that though, right? Well, you know about it if you know about it, but if you're just playing the game, then you don't really, it's not that apparent that you drop more stuff if it's the first time you've killed a boss. Isn't it like
Unless you farm it again.
I guess. But who would really?
I mean,
I
you
guess
can
in
just
PoE,
have it
you're
be just the
rerunning the
first
game
time.
over and over.
You could, like, if you wanted to, you can make it just first time drop only. There's ways around.
Yeah,
it.
Well,
that's what I'm
Diablo 3
thinking.
had that. I'm pretty sure that it had. Was it Diablo 3 or
They had it
Dawn that
eventually
had a
where you could get the
guarantee?
Loyarix crown off of Skeleton King. So people would do
Yeah,
it.
but like a bunch of things, I think, where it was just guaranteed that you would drop like one unique item off of this guy.
I think that kind of stuff is fun because like realistically, it doesn't hurt anything. Like you say, oh, but the economy, is the economy really gonna like suffer if there's a couple more Wanderlust on it? Like, not really. But you know, it's something which it makes people have more fun on their first playthrough. And then when it comes to these more niche things, where like you want to play a golem build, you have to have this thing or whatever.
Couple
you
more
can,
poets pens.
yeah, poets pens are a whole fucking discussion in its thing. But like, you know, you can make it seem a bit more cool. I don't know.
I mean, you
I
can
know.
make it limited to low tier uniques.
Yeah, that's
to
what I would
prevent
do.
people from like, especially because it prevents people like creating bot characters to just run that act over and over again.
That would be probably the biggest reason, huh?
Yeah.
But it
But
depends
there's not
where
that
you
much
like. If
useful
it
stuff.
say it was on Act 5 Innocence, right? Is someone realistically going to make a bot to farm Wanderlusts off Innocence or Gold Rims off Innocence?
They're 10 chaos and hardcore right now.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be 10 chaos if everyone got one while leveling their character.
Yeah.
But rare items are cool for leveling. So I don't
See,
know.
this is the thing which I find
mean,
kind of funny though, right? Because like, there's some people in chat like, "Lol, just give free items to everyone." Like, people don't like the idea of someone getting a gold rim on their first playthrough of PoE, but then they don't give a shit about like the current power level of the game, like how broken everything is and how all the skills do so much fucking damage. Like, that's fine, but some random dipshit getting a gold rim is too much.
I mean,
I
I've
don't
seen a
think
video.
it's the same people.
I've seen a video of somebody getting a mirror in Coast and using it on a flask. So
Hog.
I'm sure a lot of people care about that. I'm sure if I could find that video again, it would trigger a lot of people.
Summoners?
Yeah, so to get into more general summoner stuff. So last week we touched on this a little bit, which was like the clunkiness of a build versus the strength of the build. So like currently we have Herald of Agony, which is like ridiculously powerful in terms of like raw damage, but it's very smooth to play because you don't need to worry about life and stuff like that. How do you feel about that approach of like these minion builds are just ridiculous and have like no opportunity cost, and then it's like, oh, you want to play SRS, you've got to worry about life, accuracy, mana, all this shit.
Fuck Herald of Agony. I said it.
What?
You're kidding me? What?
Fight
Why?
me to the death.
Go argue about Herald of
Tell me
Agony.
why you don't like Herald of Agony.
Do I have to go
right
popcorn?
now.
Get some popcorn now?
What
It's-
is wrong with it?
It's the way you scale damage. There's like no way of scaling damage on it. You just basically build defense, and that's it.
What?
The only way you scale it is minion speed for your clear speed. That's it.
No, auras, conversion,
Yeah,
curses,
auras.
EE,
That's not really much in the grand scheme of things, though.
and what? I can like double my damage right now if I actually get the right gear on my Herald of Agony build. Like legit, just double it.
Do you need to though?
Yes.
Like it's a,
Delving
like the other
has
thing.
a lot of life. Like monsters, they have a lot of life.
Like we're talking about if you play a lot of summoners, we're talking about a minion that's immortal. It doesn't take damage. It literally takes none. Even dancing duo takes damage. It's not a lot. They have like 99% damage reduction or something ridiculous, but like even Herald of Agony just cannot take damage. And then like the one build that I always go back to is there's this one gladiator that's on Delve Ladder, and he was like 10k HP max block, and you're like, well, how does he have any damage? Herald of Agony.
Have you played
one minion damage node on the tree, and yes, I've played Herald of Agony.
So you know how clunky it is. How like if you have to wait for people to like hit you and all that. I mean, it's not fast.
It's not fast.
It doesn't do molten strike damage either.
It's a minion build, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like getting the AoE out there. There's a lot of things you have to do. It's strong. It's enabling like a new play style. But I mean, I don't get all the hate here.
I think the problem is that it makes minion damage nodes useless.
Why?
Because
that's not a problem. Like, now you can use it on different. Right? I have a Scion. I have an Occultist. I could probably make it on a Guardian and a Pathfinder. I can make it on a Champion and a Gladiator. I can finally make something with a minion on other builds.
Yeah, but is it really a minion?
All this minion damage.
But is it really a minion at that point? Like I think, like that's the other thing.
It has the tag minion. It's Herald of Agony. It's a herald. Is it really a minion? No, it's a herald.
Okay, so we agree on that. It's not really a minion. In the end.
Well, it is in terms of like how it moves. Like, can things not like differ from like one set of like one idea we have about like how a skill needs to be?
I guess part of it's also because people identify it as a minion build because it's a thing that follows you around. It's not really a minion build, in my opinion.
Okay, but doesn't that raise an interesting question though, in the fact that the thing which you think's interesting about it is the fact that it does so much damage, you can scale it in so many different ways with so many different ascendancies. Like that's what I think is cool about it. So does that mean that that's what the baseline should be? Like, is PoE at its best when things are so like broken that they need so little like damage investment that you can focus more on how do I get the attack speed up, or maybe going this ascendancy or that ascendancy? Because that to me is very interesting about Herald of Agony. The fact that there are so many different ways of playing it rather than just I pick Necro, locked in, boom.
I mean, the reason you go Necro isn't really because of the defenses.
But like
Herald of Agony has the option to pick other classes because they have defenses, which
yeah, but
sure,
that's what I'm saying though. It's basically Ellie hit 2. That's what I was alluding to. Like it's basically Ellie hit. And like Dan says it himself, it's his favorite skills because like you can be like, oh, what content am I doing? Oh, I'll play Occultist Ellie hit, or I'll play Juggernaut Ellie hit, or I'll play Slayer Ellie hit. Like, is that actually like it's broken? But like, is that actually a good thing for the game? Do we want more of that?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Strong. I think we want skills to be strong and feel good.
Do we want that to be the benchmark though? Like, is that the baseline, not the end result? Like, do we want the baseline of everything to be that crazy, that flexible?
I mean, there's always going to be outliers and things get buffed up a little bit and down. I think it's more like there's like a floor that you can't go. Like if you go below, then something just feels terrible.
Yeah.
I think that's more important. Rather than having everything being like the pinnacle of a skill, it's more like there's like a floor of like if you go below, it's kind of like, okay, now in the basement, this sucks.
I think this wouldn't really be an issue, the Herald of Agony thing, if we didn't have Delve causing a massive amount of problems for summoners. In that you have to worry about if your minions are actually going to survive, and how are you going to survive on top of that and all of that.
So then, how do you feel about that? The fact that currently, as far as I'm aware, the top Delve builds minion-wise, it's Herald of Agony, Dancing Duo, and then what else? Like, what else is actually like pushing the high tiers? Because just they don't.
On softcore, there's a max block soul rest guy.
So soul rest. So basically 3 builds which you wouldn't really call traditional summoners.
I wouldn't really say soul rest is at the top. It's just the guy's grinded out a lot of delving and has really, really, really good gear, but it's max block. I can't believe that he doesn't die a decent amount. I mean, summoners in general are kind of, it feels like people are struggling to get anywhere in Delve because it's so hard to balance your defenses, even when you have immortal or near immortal minions, because of the amount of investment you need. Which is why
end up dying instead, right?
Yeah. Like if you here's the thing, you gotta you still have to get damage because that's part of your defense. If things are not dying, you're they're smacking you and you're eventually gonna die like that. But if you try to build too much defense, you're just gonna get one shot by a random thing looking at you and you're gonna die. So and then if you use minions that actually do a decent amount of damage, chances are, unless it's Herald of Agony, which is where Herald of Agony is a little bit annoying for me, it's probably going to kill your minions.
Do you think that a lot of it is also the fact that summoner builds typically don't have corpse destruction as well, and then you have the fact that you have that whole hurdle to get over?
Flesh offering ?
Well, flesh offering porcupines is what I'm talking about. Like porcupines on death effects. Weeders. Like, wasn't that the main
You
issue
remove
with
the
your
curbs and the
Herald of
Vedas don't
Agony cultist
explode.
build? Was you just got fucked by porcus? So you went Pathfinder?
Porcupines was a problem because I couldn't fit in cast on damage taken a Mortal Call. That's literally it.
The summer.
And I realized I could fix that. I could just use cast on damage taken offering, and then that's my porcupine problem solved.
Cast from damage taken offering? Wait, how is that a porcupine solution? What?
Because one porcupine projectile hits you, it targets the porcupine pack that just got killed. Because and then it'll explode the porcupines, and the projectile is tied to the corpse. So if you blow it up, all the projectiles disappear. Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay.
It's the same thing with like Zoth pillars as well, isn't it?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, sure. Just hard to spot. But I guess if it works, then it works.
It works, but it's slightly worse than a Mortal Call.
Yeah, it's worse than a
imagine
Mortal
it's
Call,
much
but it
worse.
works. It actually is really good as a complement to a Mortal Call. Cast on damage shaken.
The more added damage elementally you get, the better it becomes.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can use it on anything. You can use it with Immortal Call on a 4-link. Why not?
And it's only a
Oftentimes.
0.25 second cooldown, so it'll pop off like crazy if that's what needs to happen.
I need to use that more often. That sounds pretty cool.
I used to do that on my trappers when I saw Uber doing it. So I was like, yay, Tarke steals tips off Uber.
Mm.
Yeah, I was using it on my trapper in the incursion flashback.
Yeah, I'm always looking for things.
God, just get enough damage that you freeze like shatter everything. Easy.
Nah. Sure. But that's always the thing, right? Like now that you can't really slow or anything. Well, you can slow, but it's only 10%. Like the 4th socket on cast when damage taken is always so awkward if you have that sort of setup for me. So yeah, flesh offering Or a bone offering. Pretty cool.
See, one thing I found kind of interesting is usually whenever we have a summoner discussion, the main complaint is AI. The main complaints haven't been AI. So
Oh,
It's
I have
been
a,
beat
I have
to
a nice
death.
I have a nice clip after like killing Elder where I'm literally standing next to one of the ads and none of my minions are doing anything. They're just like literally like swirling around me and not doing anything.
that's because of how AI works. And I say this every time I see clips like that. It wouldn't be the first time that I've seen it. People standing next to mobs because like certain things they basically attack things that are within a radius of where you've attacked last. And sometimes walking doesn't change that. I don't know what the threshold is for that. I guess you have to move far enough away from that area. But I've been
Does
really
it,
considering just making like an entire guide on how to utilize minion AI because like the
Monk ass. It's his whatever he got.
this is
Did he say what he got?
delivery. No. Go on, Uber. Go on. Continue.
what was I saying? Minion AI, right? Like the bottom line is that you cannot have minion AI that's perfect. Like you got to make compromises, especially when you've got an online game. There's only so much. So much. Nugi, please.
Why would he mute?
Yeah,
Can you mute him,
I'll
Tarke?
mute him. Yeah, I've turned him down.
Okay.
Crap. What was I saying?
Compromises.
that there's always a
minion
compromise.
AI.
You have to make
online games.
compromises.
Can't be too strong, too smart.
I don't know, dude. I think golems with the aggro jewel are pretty fucking good.
They're all right, but they have disadvantages as a problem. Like I have better control over golems. When I was playing flame golems, I would actually remove the aggressive jewel whenever I was doing delving because it just made them that much easier to control. Because basically all that jewel does is it basically makes it so that that AoE I just mentioned where they target things within that AoE. It makes that like 8 times the size. It's ridiculous. They target like the entire screen. You can still control them like sometimes it depends on if the target locations are far enough away from each other. Because basically if you retarget within that circle and they're attacking something in that circle, they're not going to change. So it's
hard to speak when Nugi's doing all this shit.
This whole episode's been kind of played with problems from the start, so I congratulate anyone on the cast and in chat who's kind of keeping it going.
I don't know if he ended up muting him, Tarke, but it's like constantly Nugi's just going to ham, like bashing, dropping plates in his kitchen.
I had him muted on my end. I just unmuted him now.
Yeah, then you guys don't. It's like one of those things where you go to a whatever like event and then they give you like the speech jammer headphones and you're just like blah, 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 and you can't speak at all. Like that's pretty much how you feel when Nugi's going ham in the kitchen blowing shit up. Trying to have a conversation.
Okay, so interesting then. So what minion do you think is the best like example of good AI and then like the worst?
Dancing Duo is pretty good AI, I would say.
They just don't give a fuck about you at all. They have their own thing.
What is it that makes them so good? Because everyone's like their AI is amazing.
It's the way they like move around, like they use their
They go ahead of,
ability.
they go ahead of you, so they don't like follow you. They just lead.
Ice golems also aren't bad.
They have AoE as well, right?
Ice golems?
It's like no dancing duos, right? So it's like a cyclone that goes around. As long as it's like cycloning anything, it's doing the right thing. Right? Because you need to clear every monster, and you need so it doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's killing something all the time.
It's like how if you play flame golem builds, you know this pain. It's flame golem builds. You always want them to be using the magma orb ability, and then when they get into close range of the boss, they use this really crappy like like flamethrower ability that does 0 damage, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm doing like 80% of the damage that I would be doing if they were using the magma balls. Why?
I mean 20.
Or
20%
80% less. 80% less.
Okay,
So yes,
okay,
20.
okay. I get it. Well,
And then what's the worst AI then? Zombies? Is there anything worse than zombies?
Katana
Zombies are-
Herald's last patch before they patched it.
Zombies are just slow.
zombies are misunderstood. Zombies just want to give hugs and stick around. They're like a doggo that loves you too much.
Yeah,
And
they
that's all
they
of them.
just want to be near you all the time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
totally. It's like everybody thinks zombies are supposed to kill things. No, zombies are there to protect, dude. They don't attack. Fuck
They
Yeah,
are-
so that when you get
when they
hit
do
by
attack,
the...
they're good though.
Don't take it. I was about to say that they are there waiting for the lightning arrow guy to
Yes!
just like shoot at you.
Exactly.
Just
Cancel
waiting
it.
to pull something.
The chaining Pantheon doesn't even do anything because the AoV chain from the lightning arrow isn't actually considered a chain,
Yeah, it's
like
its
chaining
own secondary
projectile.
effect. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you convocate and you have the Pantheon and you get the like GMP lightning arrow, you're just like you're gone. Doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time in PoE many years ago. When it first released, I used to play a lot of Summoner and I went into a spider forest, and that was when Act 4 was it Act 4? Or no, that was when Scepter of God released and porcupines came into the game, and it was a chain map, and I had a
Ah.
bunch of zombies, and I just like walked out, and you had like 10,000 life or something, and I just walked out. I killed like 4 porcupines, and they instantly killed all my minions and me, and I'm just like, dog, what the fuck? These zombies suck. But I mean, there was no running away from that.
Okay,
Lesson
so if it isn't the shitty AI, like, what do you think the weakness of minions should be? Like, in the perfect world, do they fix the AI problems?
Definitely not accuracy. That shouldn't be an issue.
I guess it depends on the minion. Like for some minions, their survivability, like Skellies and SRS, is just fine because you just like keep casting them again and again. And then for other minions, maybe damage or AoE or something like that. I think it depends based on the minion.
Any of them feel clunky, right? Like if you're not hitting, that feels clunky. If a minion's stupid, that feels clunky. If a minion doesn't deal damage, that feels clunky. Like there's really nothing that you can do. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of choosing the lesser evil. But no matter what, it's always gonna feel clunky because it's just this thing that protects you and rarely really requires like massive amounts of investment.
So-
Maybe more so now, but like for the longest time in PoE, it would be like, oh, 12 nodes or whatever into minions and everything else into HP and like utility to
Oh,
try
God.
to avoid the AI as much as possible. It's like, this is a minion build, but I'm in the Marauder nodes and Duelist. Like, what the fuck?
So
Didn't
basically,
really-
what we've said is Dancing Geo is the best minion build.
I really like Soul Rest, but I haven't played with Dancing Duo. I don't know. Are they really that smart?
They're fun, but they're very hard to scale. You need a lot of flat phase jewels to really get their damage going.
Hmm.
And it's kind of hard to craft gas AI jewels with flat fizz and life, or ES if that's the route you're taking.
So what
Fossils,
are
by
we
the
saying?
way.
Like Herald of Agony, even though Uber thinks it's technically not a minion. So like Herald of Agony here, then Dancing Duo if you have the scaling, and then like what's here. Like,
Soul Rest. And then nothing for a really long time. Well, no, Solar
No,
Guards and
specters.
Soul Rest.
Specters, yes.
It depends for what content.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
that's
like bossing is a completely different
Yeah.
thing than like mapping.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Okay.
if there's tons of AoE, Soul Rest sucks.
And then, well, same with SRS. They just like
Mhm.
die.
hmm. So what?
Soul Rest, yeah, like Phantasms die so easy. Ridiculous.
Okay, so
They're
if
strong
I,
though.
if I had to give you like 3 categories, like what is the best single target minion build, best clear speed minion build, then most defensive minion build, what are your picks?
Well, I think the Agony is the most defensive one.
Yep.
Yeah.
By far, Agony is the most offensive.
I think the best bossing is probably some kind of Spectre combination with other minions. I think.
Yeah, but just
Like,
to
it
clarify,
depends on the boss, of course. Again, like I think the dancing is better for like Uber Elder than any kind like Spectre build because they just don't die during the fight, right? So you don't have to give a fuck about their survivability. So it depends again on what kind of boss we're doing.
I think Agony is the best bossing build because you can use surface.
well, but it's the best one for all the wrong reasons. It's the same reason for why it's the most defensive one, because it requires no investment and you can just put all that shit into your character and it's strong enough, right? So it's like, ugh.
I mean, Flame Golems seem like they could work on Uber Elder, but again, you have minion survivability problems, and also Flame Golems with their gigantically bright balls that just screw your FPS and leave a giant amount of smoke behind, and just they're painful.
Okay, so we're saying Agony again or Dancing Duo then for like Uber Elder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clear Speed, on the other hand, Agony definitely doesn't win on the Clear Speed side of things. Ice Golems are actually insane Clear Speed.
Better than Solar Guards?
I mean, they're a melee minion that you can multi-strike, and so they can go around. They have
what do you mean? There's no way they're better than Solar Guards. Like,
dude, you have not played Ice Golems.
I've seen some of it. Like, holy, how can they
my
be faster?
my Ice Golems is slow because I use 16 MS boots and a two-hander, so I can't even shield charge.
Are you playing that shit right now? Like, when did you play that? I'm looking for.
I'm at like 98 on it. I farmed Red Elder for a really long time on it, and they are insane. Honestly, they're crazy with the aggressive duo. They're just everywhere. I even have a friend that's using it to MF and softcore, and he switched from Solar Guards to Ice Golems, and he's like. And like the first thing was like, okay, I'm playing your build now, and holy shit, it's fast. They're basically like dancing duos, yeah. Dancing duo would come in second for that. I would say.
I was just
because like the thing is, we're in an indoor meta too, but so Solar Guards kind of have the struggle of oftentimes you need to target a pack to the side, but because again, the way AI works is they're only going to target things where you're targeting. So like, if you have like a bunch of walls and then like right in the middle is packs and you shield charge from from the first wall to the fourth wall, they're never going to attack anything in the middle. So I'd have to like actually draw that out to explain how that looks. I'm thinking of Vault Map right now, but.
You have 9 golems? What?
Yeah.
8 golems.
8 golems.
Yeah, the new amulet is pretty nice.
Yeah, the new amulet is pretty nice. And the other thing about the amulet too, I wish we talked more about golems because
go for it. This is your opportunity, bro.
Yeah, because the elementalist node, the buff effect, holy crap! I have a chaos golem that's giving me 21% phys damage reduction right now.
Yeah.
That elementalist node is like insane.
Wait, is this an elementalist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a 6-link Tripanon. What the fuck?
That's not a Tripanon. That's a 6-link mace that I crafted in one essence.
Okay.
That was +3 with Mame.
God damn, dude.
It's insane. Normally you would use a Clay Shaper and Victorios. But...
Listen, chat, it looks like a Tripanon. This is not my fault. He MTX'd it.
Yeah, it's on a Shaper base. You can't have a Shaper Tripanon. It's impossible.
Hey, that's okay, guys. We have to teach Raiz what MTX are. It's fine. It's a new thing.
I don't skin transfer. Hello?
Yeah, you don't know how many questions I've gotten about how do I have a 6-link Combs heart? I skinned it on my incandescent heart.
But then that goes hand in hand with your dispensable or one-time use cup stuff, because they use the skin transfers too. God damn, dude.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to watch some. Holy shit. Okay, holy crap. They are fast.
they're really, really fast, especially because of the amulet. The amulet gives them like 95% movement speed.
6
Show me.
minutes 30 seconds. Maybe you can show it on stream, Tarky. That's
Yeah, sure,
pretty
just
nutty.
give
6
me the
minutes
link.
and 30 seconds. 6 hours and 30 seconds into the VOD. I'm watching a delve clear. And yeah, they're speedy boys. Goddamn. I'm
Yeah, they're
surprised.
really, really fast.
So on that thing, since you mentioned Delve, how is like the AI in Delve? Like, is it holding up or?
It works really well, honestly, because they don't target things that are in the darkness. If a mob is immune, they're not going to target it. The only time they're going to be hitting immune mobs is because the mob was able to be attacked at one point before it became immune. That's the only time.
Nice,
So,
nice. Tarky.
oh my god, this layout is going to be so scuffed for a while.
Look, this entire episode just goes to show how adaptable I am, because I've been adapting to a lot of bullshit
This is
today.
impressive.
Okay?
Wait, but you're showing a Blade Vortex build. 6 hours 30 seconds, dog.
You're adaptive, but you couldn't give me a name in the
Look.
Very good
Baeclast.
minion build.
Okay, and
Delve.
for all the people who've asked
30
why is
seconds.
6 hours and 30 seconds, the whole reason why everyone's asking why is Karv called blah blah blah, it's because we had a whole lot of cancellations today, an hour of like finicky bullshit of are we doing it, are we not doing it, no we've cancelled it, we're getting Alkais, we're getting Ziz, it's over, it's on, it's just a thing, it's just a thing. But Karv is going to rebrand to Delve from now on, so thank you for that, that's very kind of you. To be honest,
Karv is...
Kavarushku is too difficult for you to spell. Delve, much easier to find in Google. It's snappy. Delve has got a nice
Can we
ring
just
to
call
it.
him... I mean, if you have trouble with that, maybe you could call him Mushroom Man or something.
Look at this shit, man.
Just say shroom.
Yeah, true.
Shroom.
Shroom doesn't sound right. Look at these fucking golems, man.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're
Holy
so
moly.
good. It's actually so much fun.
And the
I'm still considering taking this to 100 this league,
the
just
best-
because I actually have that much fun playing the character.
And the best
God
thing about the
damn.
amulet is that it makes them tiny too, so you can actually CC it on the ground.
Oh, dude,
That's-
that's the best thing about ice golems in terms of a golem build in general. They don't have crazy effects that like spam your screen like flame golems. Everybody that's played flame golems knows how awful the screen spam is.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
ice golems don't have that.
How good is their defense? Is it right?
My golems have like 21k HP. They drop a little bit. That's the problem with delving deep on these types of builds. I ran into I think a 280 delve, so not even deep, and the only thing was rare monsters, and it was the drop bear event, and I had one soul eater, and he like ate my chaos golem alive, which also has 21k HP. So, and all my ice golems died. So yeah, and we're talking about 14% minion regen. 14.
Yeah.
Damn.
Speaking of Delve, would you like to take this opportunity to talk about your favourite Delve event, Uber? And you know which one I'm talking about.
Row event?
Dusty Boy?
Oh, oh god. Row event's bad too. But the Dust Altar, those tornadoes do not have any downscaling as minions. So
Oh, yeah.
and they deal full fizz, so they kinda like completely destroy minions. And they hit really, like, those tornadoes hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that minions don't really have any ways of dealing with stun, so if it hits hard enough, it's going to stun minions. And so if you don't convocate in time or run away far enough to, like, teleport out of it, is bad. Basically, all I can do is really, like, continuously convocate them out of the tornadoes and stand to the side away from where the tornadoes are going to see me, and constantly bring my minions back in order to try and keep them alive.
Did you try Frostwall?
I mean, I heard you can conversion trap the tornadoes, but gem sockets and
get another skill
and
bar
skill
on your
bar.
summoner. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
How many? If you were playing that with golems, how many times did you curse about convocation that cooldown being too long during that event?
Not really much, because like there's always walls there. So again, this is where knowing about minion AI really helps out a lot. If you lose line of sight on a mob, it's the minions are not going to attack it. So you just like purposely run behind a wall so you lose line of sight of all the mobs and stuff, and the minions will come right back to you. So there's usually terrain that you can abuse like that.
I guess that's what makes it feel pretty alright in delving in general. I didn't feel like I struggled too much with minion AI in delves, but granted, I only played SRS and Soul Rest, and those feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we didn't mention SRS for minion AI. Because, like, on one side it's great, on the other side it's awful because they're so aggressive. But on the other side, you're standing on top of a mob and you're spawning SRS, and they're just like walking away from you, not attacking anything.
There's an interesting thing about that too, because they're disposable minions, so to speak. So the minion is allowed to be a lot more aggressive because it doesn't care about where you are. Like, you know how specters, again, with you target something and they'll try and fight stuff in that area. SRS don't care about that because they're a disposable minion.
And also, you don't care if it dies, or if your specter dies, it's like, fuck.
Well, you kind of do, but yeah.
But, like, that was something I wanted to mention. How do you feel about the recent influx we've had of, like, temporary disposable minions? Like, Herald of Agony is a temporary, it's just there, does its own thing. The new Herald of Purity, the new Dom Below, Soul Rest is, like,
well,
kind of disposable-ish, but, like...
That's not the disposable thing that I mean. Like, you can you can it has a duration. It's not, and if you run too far away, like, you can't convocate it. If you run too far away, it's just gonna disappear.
Yeah.
So,
but how do you feel about the influx of more duration based than permanent, always there minions?
I mean, it's alright, because resummoning golems whenever I play that golem build. Ugh. I have to undo all my auras and summon them because my ice golems cost 359 mana. So
and key binding, you have to do that with key bindings too, right? Because you don't have them anywhere. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
That was a big issue I used to have on my Arc Ignite character. So my Arc Ignite character, it was an Elementalist. I took the 4 Golem nodes, and then I took the Prolith nodes. I went Mine Over Matter, and if I was doing a boss, and, like, my Golems died on the boss, like, during the boss, I've got to, like, go into my bars, rebind it individually, resummon them, because that's how I was getting my Ignite, Shock, and Freeze Immune, and it was really fucking scuffed when I was doing, like, Red Elder runs and stuff, and it's like, oh no, my one thing's died. Let me just quickly, in this fight, which is kind of all about moving and not stopping, stop real quick and redo all my bars. It was like,
Yeah, whenever minions die, it's the core problem with summoners, right? That, again, the minion survivability problem is a serious issue because skill slots, we don't have enough. We don't even have a swap for being like, oh, I can just press this key, you know, like if you play Grim Dawn, you can do there's a swap for your skill bar, and I can have my minions there and then resummon them right away. No, you have to click on whatever button and then click on whatever you want to resummon and then resummon it. And it's like, ugh.
Would you be happy at this point? Like, because personally, I really don't like flip bars. I find them kind of clunky. But if it's flip bar or nothing, I would take it. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything at this point, really.
Anything.
Just make it like
I mean,
have like the normal bar, but then make it also so that you can have like an extra one, like in Diablo 2, where you can just bind things and then it switches your right click or something temporarily. It's
Oh,
like,
that would be actually so cool. have a hotkey that just like immediately switches it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really nice.
I mean,
Just a not shit UI, as someone says in chat.
Whoa.
I mean, looking at Grim Dawn for how to do summoner builds, I think is a good idea too, because like they have the whole, you can set your minions to aggressive or normal or defensive in terms of their AI. I think Grim Dawn does summoners.
What minions
pretty
do we
well.
have in there? Oh, right. We have to hold. That's the we played that build last time.
I mean, the four of
Wind
you have all
Devils.
played a lot of
Oh,
Grim
yeah,
Dawn,
yeah,
so
you're
like,
right.
out of interest, are there any other elements from that game that you kind of wish PoE would adapt?
Grim Dawn?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's just, I know
That's
that,
a whole topic.
It's just, I know that the four of you have played, like, more Grim Dawn than any other PoE streamer, and you all happen to be here at once, and you just mentioned it, so we may as well. Like, are there any things that you're like, I want this?
The
MIs.
combat. Yeah, the MIs. The combat.
Oh, the MI system is...
What's that?
The MI system is basically items that drop with specific, like... Basically, it's like a base item. Like, you know how we have, like, two-tone boots and stuff?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, except it's very much so more for, like, specific builds and stuff. I don't know if it would ever fit in PoE. I have trouble seeing it fitting in PoE. It feels like it only works in Grim Dawn for me. Like, I could see PoE kind of getting a little bit of it, but it's tough to say. Like a sacrificial garb, I guess, is another good example, because that
It
specifically
modifies
drops
the
from
ability
Aziri.
that you're using, basically.
And it drops from specific monsters.
So instead of having, like, a unique item, you get, like, a unique base drop.
No, you get a rare base drop with a unique stat. We have that already, but it's very generic, and it's, you know, the incursion. Dudes.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like
so like the
only thing we
incursion
have.
mods. Yeah.
But it's so random.
Yeah.
It's like
That was like a
impossible to
bad
target
way of doing
on.
it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it would be like, for example, if it was incursion and you did the lightning room, you'd get a rare chest which would have a lightning tendrils buff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like making it more general to the entire game, right? So you would kill, say, Vol over and over again, and he would have like a specific thing that he could drop. You would kill Piety over and over again, and she would have her dress or something. I don't know. Something like that.
It's kind of like what we talked about before, where you can go into a map that has implicit
Specific
cannonballs
mobs on it, and
then these sort of guys can do it, and then that diversifies mapping and all this sort of stuff, which I think is pretty cool. You know, instead of running burial chambers all day, you could be like, hey, I'm gonna farm Spidey boys now, so I'm gonna do this, and that map. Because
you mean you just farm it and then you buy the items from other people who do it?
Or you could do that too.
Karv, you can't really shit on this because you did all that lighthouse farming this week. I think more stuff like that is really good.
The majority of the people don't play like I play the game.
That's true.
Like, you can't use it as an argument if I'm like this one snowflake who wants to farm lighthouse for a red blade helm. Like, everyone else just buys it from some people who will find it randomly or from delves.
Yeah, but having items like that existing is a good thing.
It's cool though, yeah.
Like, it's even good for not like personal use, but again, it's more items that you can just randomly find, which I really enjoy, because it's very difficult right now in PoE if you're trying to be efficient, even if you're a new player, to just find a random item that's actually worth something without it being a unique or a piece of currency. Because rare items technically won't be picking up. If you're being inefficient, then you're picking up all the wrong ones, and you're never going to find a good one unless you get really lucky. Or if you're being really efficient, then you're not fucking picking up any rare items anyway. So it's like, it's very tricky in that way, and they quickly lose value. But with a system like this, maybe you can randomly stumble upon things. It's like, you know, you're just running burial chambers because you're running your atlas, and you find a doctor card, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this turns out to be worth a lot of money. But happening more frequently for less amounts of currency, obviously.
I mean, it's the same way that you have like eye level 86 items being worth picking up, right? Because they can, right now we can roll certain things on them. If the base item itself has value, then all of a sudden there are these like you will have value in like certain maps, and then if you even get them at the highest item level, but just the enchant themselves will make the lower item level stuff worth picking up on a rare, since you can't just craft it.
Yep.
Okay. One thing that we kind of skipped over about specifically darkness and minion AI and stuff, and also how with minions and totems to an extent you get capped out with not enough life. If Delve goes core, which we'll assume it does, do you think GGG has more responsibility to address stuff like totem life or minion AI? Is it okay that particular builds kind of get locked out of this like massive part of the game going forward?
We're talking pushing Delve or just farming certain depth. Like I think there's always going to be the best builds and the builds that don't work when you push. Like
no, obviously
deep
there will
enough.
be, but basically what I'm saying is, if Delve goes core, do you think it's more likely, or do you think GG has more of a responsibility to sort of address the builds which don't function well, like just
Yes.
mechanically?
Yes, they already have to because of incursion.
Yeah.
Honestly, because like incursion, you need a build that not only does a lot of damage, but it also moves fast. So I mean, minion survivability isn't as survivability isn't much of an issue in incursion, but go ahead.
Maybe incursion is just going to be very different to what we saw previously. I feel like
I would hope so.
The interest of players definitely wasn't there past a certain point, but I think also implementing something like that, like Delve and Incursion, modify the tile sets to such a large extent that they lock out a lot of possible builds, therefore decreasing build diversity and all this sort of stuff. So yeah, it's totally fine to do a league that's an indoor league, or it's totally fine to have an indoor map meta for a while. But if you're implementing this into the core game, you're potentially locking out like other things that were previously viable. And that's something that you can't just easily modify, because even if they were to switch up the indoor map meta and Delve and Incursion is still in the game, that means that we won't ever truly have a outdoor map meta. It's just going to be kind of more or less the same. And that changes a lot. Like when the outdoor to indoor map meta changed, like that was a pretty big deal for what sort of builds people were playing. Well, not to mention also that like Volt Fireball, Volt Spark, and all that stuff was changed, and all of those things are out of the way.
Yeah, but
although
Volt
Spark is pretty
back.
good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I never thought about that though,
random.
but yeah, like if Delve goes core as is and Incursion goes core as it was, that level of accessibility, that like nails the coffin for like outdoor maps, right? Because like the meta is just indoor.
Yeah.
But again, it also depends. Maybe it's going to be a little bit different. There were some like potentially outdoory things in Incursion, but Delve, not as much. Maybe go quick with the cart, and then you've got a big open room like the Azurite rooms. That's technically an outdoor situation.
I mean, they could theoretically, like, because in the ideal like world, GG keeps adding more like aspects to PvE. Maybe the next big league, it has an outdoor focus. So it's like, am I going to play a more Delve-centric build, get more indoor focus? Do I want to do this new thing, go more? I don't know.
We'll see. It really will be interesting what they're going to be announcing for the league. Isn't that like soon?
Yeah, they'll be announcing it in the next couple of weeks. Since we're nearly finished up on all the minion stuff, I just briefly, while we're on the topic, do you guys prefer like the indoor or the outdoor meta? Just like from like making builds out of interest.
I want it to be equally good. I think.
Yeah,
it's
equal.
hard. It's so hard though.
I think there's I prefer like if there's the indoor can get really annoying. I think.
Yeah.
If the maps that you're like, if the maps aren't like made well, it's like a lot of backtracking, a lot of like such and such, and like small rooms and like doorways especially. I hate doorways.
Yeah,
like small doorway.
Oh.
Like you have to like manage it, and you do shoot into the doorway, and your things like your spells disappear, or I don't know.
Indoor meta
Freeze.
makes movement skills, except like phase run, feel actually really bad. You get stuck on all of the corners and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but indoor, like Delve is indoor,
phase
and
run.
it doesn't make it feel that bad. I think it's a good
Except
balance.
phase run.
Delver is okay. Delve has been okay.
Yeah, but
think,
if
for
you're
this.
like flame dashing, it feels pretty alright
Yeah.
in a
But I
Delve.
think
But, like if
Delve-
you're doing cells, then it's a nightmare to shield charge, right?
Okay, so on that, don't you think there's a difference between Delve in terms of you controlling the speed of the card and it just kind of follows you versus if you're doing cells, you're still in the clear speed meta mindset. So you want to do it fast and you're constantly getting stuck
Yeah.
because you're your own worst enemy rather than the card is just there and just like if you kind of bump into something, it just waits for you and it doesn't feel bad.
Except when you have too much light radius, and then you have like these side rooms, and it turns, and then
it keeps going. Oh, where are you going? Don't come back.
It's so bad. Dude.
That light radius thing, to briefly go back to Tarke complain about upgrades going account bound, they never thought that'd be an issue because they never expected level 1 characters to have all the fucking light radius unlocked. That is 100% an account bound issue. Fuck that, it's so annoying.
It happens at high depth too. I'm at max radius all the time. So it doesn't really matter there. It happens all the time.
Like who isn't? You don't progress until you've got it. Well, I guess only if you're on hardcore, so it doesn't matter. Well, the thing is, I feel like I like indoor. If it's not annoying, because it can get really annoying, I really like indoor. I feel like outdoor map meta was always really brainless. Like very clear speed oriented, very like push for optimization. I feel like it didn't promote like optimizing characters in terms of build diversity, but more just having like the 100% most efficient thing. I don't know. It was weird. Maybe because it's so tied in my head to like the 30-second strands or 20-second gorges and whatever, and like Volspark and all this stuff. It just felt like the game took a big change. And like AoE was different back then too, right? They changed like the AoE after they changed the meta, or maybe before.
They killed AoE and it was like dead because they killed it going Legacy Harby, and then it took a while before you went fully indoor. But that was actually one thing I was gonna say. Like the one good thing about indoor meta is it equalizes a lot of builds. When everyone was running full outdoor builds, if your build couldn't kill a whole screen, you fucking felt it couldn't kill a whole screen. Whereas with Delve, it's obviously you'd rather a skill or Impulsor which hits everything, but you don't really feel like oh, my build isn't, you know, one click clears the entire fucking screen because you've only got this much room to play with. Like, so as long as you can hit the wall on either side, you're all right, you know. I feel like we just made someone rage quit by mentioning Impulsor. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do
My
it.
Discord crashed earlier too. So I don't know.
Since we've covered everything on the Google, we actually did cover everything on the Google Doc. We just took a long way to get there. Does anyone have anything they'd like to talk about before I take a couple of questions off Twitter? Because we did take a few questions on Twitter.
Yes, I wanted to comment on the map meta because
Go.
I think the indoor map meta is good if you have maps like Tribunal, Courthouse, things that have wide doorways.
Tribunal?
It's a great map. It's a fucking great map. The only issue I have with Tribunal is that in some layouts you have to do this.
60 doors.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, but that's like what? That's not even the worst. Tribunal is the worst example to me because it's a map that can feel really good, and then every now and then you have like 11 doors back to back to back to back that you have to get through, and it's just like, dog, this is the most annoying shit ever.
Okay, so implement the automatic doors from Incursion. There you go.
Then it would work.
Hey,
maybe.
you have to also consider that having to open doors has a you can also use that to scale difficulty, because if you have like a huge fucking pack of chaos speeders right behind the door that you have to click, you have to be ready, right? So otherwise you could just like otherwise you could like off screen it if everything was just like open, right? So there's also that to consider.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that every single map should have a 50,000 doors, but you get the idea.
Fucking Tribunal.
We want automatic
Anyway,
doors
sorry,
on
Uber.
everything, right? Like,
Uber was talking things. I interrupted. I couldn't. The Tribunal was too much.
Yeah, like things like that are like the whole cells and torture chamber. Torture chamber in particular was really bad and still is kind of bad for a while now. Like those are crappy, but I mean, it's not even like the indoor outdoor map meta isn't even the biggest of my problems with maps right now. So
What is your biggest problem?
it's the balance between natural reds and shape reds.
Yeah.
Why are like natural reds like there's so many yellow maps that just beat out natural reds in terms of like how many mobs they have or any of that. It's just like why when you get cheaper sextants on shape maps? It doesn't make sense.
Now,
And
now
we're
going-
even
I can make-
talking about shape like cheaper in terms of terms of they drop more commonly.
I can make the argument that nobody makes, but the native red maps have the bases that you can't get on shaped maps.
Yeah, that's basically it. Except you can get those from like Delve, and there's like a billion other ways to get it. You can even get them from Torah missions.
Yeah, it's just, why like it's. I actually feel kind of weird about Delve because it has everything. Like
Yeah,
there
think
really
we need to take a lot of
there
things
really
away.
isn't. Yeah, there really isn't anything that you can't get out of it.
I mean,
got
you
a
also have to do.
shaped crystal belt in SSF. So.
Okay, like
Yikes.
it like caps like you can't get like high item level shaper and elder item because the boxes aren't like those aren't affected by the plus levels, right? So you can't get like an elder 86 Bonhelm. I mean, nobody gets it anyways, but like you just get everything. You get prophecies, you get all the diva cards. It's like everything.
it's the best way of getting helm enchants. It's also the best way of getting essences. Yeah, it's just. You know.
What else was I gonna say?
It's also the best place to farm for breach because you can just farm the
Breach
abyss
stones,
areas
yeah.
for the breach stones, like unlimited. Like you can just do that all day, all night. You just get more like new monsters that drop the divi cards.
Do you think that we should like remove Shaper and Elder bases and all that? I mean, I think they should from Delve. I think Delve should. No, so I personally like a game where you can kind of choose what you need and then you go for it, rather than you just get everything in one place.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
but
I think they
that's the reason why I really like what you were talking about, Uber, with I think it's totally fine if red maps don't grant as much XP as shaped maps because you have strongholds that you kind of have to do. It's more about goals and like bossing and making progress than it is about like having XP and optimizing that sort of stuff. So I think that works out. In the past, I would totally have an issue with that because I thought the only thing to do in the game was to either kill Shaper or farm XP. But now you've got so many different things and there's so much more incentive to like optimize your gear. And this really promotes it too that, yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with that, I think.
It's tough to say. I mean,
I think it's fine for it to be over rewarding in its current like league because this is like the trying to show the best it can be. But I think going core just a little bit have it so if you want Elder Shaper bases,
Delve, yeah.
you go do Elder Shaper maps. If you want this, you go do that.
I think it should be easier to have like to get natural reds to drop. So like maybe make the maps bigger so overall it has more monsters. And I mean, if you're like, you can't really worry about sextants because red sextants don't come in that large of a supply. And I mean, yeah, you can probably buy red sextants from people that are doing shape strategy because they don't really need to use red sextants that much. But I mean, How many
How
people
about-
actually use red sextants? Like,
I mean, SSF,
Realistic.
so I
don't.
use them because
I run my Guardian maps with sextants.
Yeah.
I don't like 3
Yeah.
Guardian maps in a row and just like sextant them. But yeah, majority doesn't really.
Also,
about
we
if
get
they
so
were
many
to-
fucking sextants this league. It's crazy. So
Would you think that will be enough? Because right now I think all bosses across all maps have like a 25% chance to drop a map, or is it 20? It's like 20 or 25.
I think
So
it's 25. I think it's 20.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what if they were to make it like in white maps, a boss has a 20% chance to drop a map. In yellow maps, it has a 50% chance to drop a map, and in red maps, obviously non-shaped red maps, it has like 75 or something like that.
Also, you're saying
Would that be
the
a good enough-
natural white, yellow, and red.
Yeah, of course. Non-shaped.
Yeah.
So then that way the progression into reds wouldn't be as annoying and you wouldn't have to worry about it as much, but it would still remain challenging without having to like worry about XP and shit like that.
That sounds awkward to do because like they are the same. Like shaped and normal maps are like they're mechanically the same. The only thing is like the shape maps have like their own atlas when it comes to like the adjacency lines, kinda because you know you can't horizontal shape T11 to a normal T11. Like it's like you have like your normal atlas and then you have the atlas where every map is shape map. Like when it comes to like the adjacency lines, like they mechanically they are the exact same still.
No. I mean, it wouldn't be very consistent, but I feel like
Like I
you
just
could
like how
actually
we
progress
do
through the
it.
atlas. What do you mean?
I just don't like see how you would do it. Like
To what?
the make that normal maps have a higher chance to drop, like the map boss has the extra chance to drop a map versus a shape map. Like
yeah.
how you separate them, it like mechanically
You don't separate them. That's the point.
No, didn't Raiz say that you make like normal maps, like non-shape maps, when you kill the boss to have a higher chance to drop a map?
No.
Yes.
yeah,
What? Yeah. But,
That's what I meant, Nugi, yeah.
but, okay, so let's say you do like a barrel chamber, 20% chance. You do a shape barrel chamber, 200% chance. Doesn't matter that you shape it; it's the same chance. So that when you go up in tiers, that there's a
I
higher.
think Karv is
Yeah,
talking
but I
about
don't
it
want
from a
more
coding.
shape-
He's talking about it from like the developer point of view. It's
Yeah.
harder for
Yeah.
them to
Yeah,
distinguish.
yeah.
Because to us,
I
it's
don't want
easy,
shaped
right?
maps to
Because
drop
we
more.
just say,
I want
No.
if it's this
exactly.
tier naturally, it's that. But like, he doesn't know if the tech is actually there to distinguish a shaped tier 15 and a normal tier 15.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, well, they could make it work. I'm just asking more about like a concept because I don't think. Well, I don't
As
know
a
if they would
concept,
do
I
it.
think it's kind of cool. Although, as someone joked in chat, like PogChamp, 75% chance to get a tier 1. You know, like.
I think it should be better to give it more monsters to the normal red maps. I think
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
a
like-
lot simpler to get basically the same result.
Yeah. I think that's the
Not
most simple way.
really.
Make the map bigger, make it have more mobs in it. I mean, look at Caldera. It's always my go-to
Oh no.
for how empty some of the natural reds are. It's-
5 screens without a single mob seems good.
I don't think it's the same effect at all, to be honest. Because if you're making more monsters, then you're creating more currency, you're creating more items, you're.
But nobody is like running these maps for current. Like, it's not. You don't run natural reds for that. And if you compare it, just
Yeah, exactly.
you opt out of it to run the shape versions because they do give you that.
Yeah, and the XP on top of it too. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the point. That's why it's not the same exact solution, because if you're forced into killing bosses, then you're actually giving up on something. And if you want all the other things, then you can get them through shape maps. But this way, by focusing it on a boss, it would be different. Because again, you don't have all these extra things, and on top of it, you actually have a boss to kill, and potentially would feel rewarding depending on how much you make it rewarding, right? That it wouldn't
Yeah, but-
necessarily be a tier 1 map.
Yeah, but how much of your map returns actually comes from bosses?
Well,
Like, we're
right now,
already-
not a
It
lot.
would be higher. That's the
It would
point.
be higher, but like when you're looking at shape maps, and especially shape maps that use sextant, like a lot of your returns are going to be coming from those mobs.
Yeah, sure, but you're not progressing your atlas. You're not necessarily dropping those bases. You're kind of giving up sextants.
Oh yeah, another thing on the bases.
You're not getting to bosses. Like
An-
a lot of
another
small
thing on the
things, but it lines
bases-
up.
Another thing on the base is You can get Zana missions now that throw you into like waterways or whatever else, and you can get bases like that. You won't get the Melter or Shaper, but you're not likely to get the Melter or Shaper anyways. So
I don't know. I think you're arguing the same thing, but kind of in circles. So I'm gonna put my host penis on the table and say end of discussion. Since I think we've covered everything on that thing, we'll just take like 1 or 2 questions from Twitter, and then we can round it out, because I don't want to get into an elitist circle jerk podcast. So, someone had a question, which I thought someone might appreciate since it was summoner themed. How would you change Solwick to make Solwick Spectres not terrible?
Fuck that thing. What? Is the one where your Spectres are
like,
permanent, but they're like
temporary hyper aggro, like they last what, 30 seconds or something?
Talking about the crit jewel?
Oh, the jewel.
So it's the Spectre threshold jewel. It's like your Spectres only last for 30 seconds and they have like crazy damage or something. And it's
Crazy crit.
awful.
I think you make it so that you have to have like one Spectre in particular, and you just constantly have to resummon it, and it has like a cooldown and like a duration or something. So there's like a maximum that's limited by the cooldown and the duration. It's kind of like the main thing I think of here when I'm trying to describe this is the Summon Blight Fiend modifier from Grim Dawn, which makes them temporary, but you get a way lower cooldown and you get a higher limit of them. I kind of think of the same thing of that as that for Solwick.
I think it would work if Desecrate actually always just gave you the monsters that you have as your Spectre.
Yeah.
Then it could work.
But you got to get that first Spectre is the problem there. Like there's so many core like coding issues with it, and I feel like that jewel by itself like really encompasses how much of a struggle it's probably been for the developers to make all the summoner crap work. That jewel is like, okay, yeah, this is where we started, because well, that's where Mark kind of described it when he was making it. So
but the issue with giving the corpse to Desecrate is that then it would be just like insanely strong. So
yeah,
I mean, the idea for them when they made it was basically to do it with the Unearthed, right?
Yeah.
Use the Unearthed guys.
Yikes.
I mean,
well, that was the idea.
When they first announced Unearth, I remember like Rory being really hyped in all his interviews with Ziggy, like, oh, we're gonna have this really cool thing in the future. You can be like Spectre Unearth builds, and then it's like it just turned into that, and it was like, oh.
I mean, the whole Spectre Unearth thing, that jewel was designed without Unearth in mind, and Unearth, I don't think. I need to find the like post that Mark made. I think it was him that made it, right? Mark? I think so.
I don't know.
But he designed it to be sort of like, because Spectres in the very early closed beta days, they weren't persistent through zones. So he was trying to like recreate that. So,
hasn't that jewel been around like forever?
Solwick?
Solwick? No.
No, it's probably what, a year now at most.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was introduced.
I'm thinking
at the same
like
time.
a year and a half or 2 years.
It's been in for a couple of leagues. Yeah.
Right?
3-4 leagues maybe.
Yeah, somebody just put it in chat. Yeah,
When
it's
was
Mark's item. There we
December
go.
2017.
Abyss.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
little bit of a shame that it meant it released alongside Unearth, since this means people are more likely to associate it with that skill, which goes against what it was intended for, embracing the natural variation in Spectre types as you play.
So in that case, I want to know, because Rory did really hype, but he wanted this like cool Unearth build. I want to know what that, like, why they scrapped that in the end. Because they were talking about how they wanted to have an Unearth threshold jewel.
Oh.
And I always, like, as it says in there, I always assumed this was meant to be that threshold jewel. But anyway.
Fucking unearth.
Is it a problem if they buff the unearth skeletons?
No. They may as well make
I
them
feel like
usable.
they just seem so weak. I don't get why they. I mean, yeah, why not just buff them?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. Next question. This is more of a fun one. One suggestion per person. Wild prediction for next league.
Wild prediction?
Yeah, not just like, oh, Masters rework. Like, out there, like, crazy. One prediction.
I was just about to say that Einhar comes back, but I guess that's out of the window now.
No.
Can I say Delve won't go core?
That's a pretty fucking bold one.
I'll say Delve goes core.
That's not a bold
That's
prediction.
not a bold
What?
prediction at all, Nugi.
You would
It's-
say this?
I think
I'll make a
it's
bold
likely.
prediction. We're gonna have a bugless Atlas.
What?
I had to be
pretty hard.
bold. I know that's not gonna happen, so it was pretty bold.
I think the boldest prediction I can make is next league, I'm going to get Aspect of the Spider.
You're playing Trade League or what?
Yeah, I'm playing fucking Trade League to get it. I want it so badly.
Hmm. This is something to.
Oh,
really
you know,
think about.
actually, you know what's bold prediction? I think people are gonna use Engineer Orbs and Alk Armor Restaurant boxes. I actually got all the 5 Mayor Team cards from those boxes by just alking them. Didn't engineer up them, but I just like actually scout and alk them, and I got all the 5 cards from there.
Why don't they just make engineering one use max quality? It annoys me that because they after the league they had their little like breakdown on Harby about how the currency was shit, so it wasn't going core, and then it's been added core indirectly, and it's like we're gonna leave it shit because why not? It's like,
Yeah. It's just because they still had their whole like, we want 1,000 different things to drop on the ground, and you pick them up one by one. You can kill entire screens of mobs in one shot, but this is how we balance the clear speed. You're clicking on individual things for 10 minutes. Like splinters and coins and all this. I think they still had that like shit going on in their mindset. So probably just because of that you're supposed to be picking up so much little crap. But they should have changed it, yeah.
yeah.
But as for bold predictions, I think Incursion will be very different to what we're expecting. I don't
I actually
think.
agree.
I
Yeah,
don't think.
I agree with that as
Maybe
well.
even to the point where there's not going to be a timer in Incursions, and
Please.
I think maybe Incursions are going to be not as split up between Incursions themselves and temples as they are right now, but instead like somehow combined into like doing bigger chunks of content at the same time rather than splitting up your gameplay more frequently.
That's actually what I was gonna say. I think maybe what they might do with Incursion, instead of it being like 12 separate, they kind of do like one small like endless dungeon style. So it's like you find, then you do like 12 incursions or like maybe 5 incursions back to back. Then you go to the temple.
Maybe
Well,
it's
I mean,
I always imagine the Incursion rework to be that like you're mapping and you don't get like the Alva, and then when you find Alva, then the next maps will always have the Incursion until you do the temple, and then you have a small chance to get it to start again. Like thinking about like starting like a Prophet chain, and then just get all of them in the in a row.
I kind of
Instead
feel
of,
like
like,
they
ran-
need
in- instead of
even that.
randomly
I
getting
feel like
them.
it's too like it breaks up the gameplay too much. I feel like they kind of need to make it so like you just knock
And they
out
can
all
just
the
make it
incursions.
less of them encounters, of course. But I kind of hope that's how they implement it at least.
Ooh, another bold prediction. They're gonna add a new master.
Yes.
And this master will be able to make flask crafts the way Einhard
please,
did.
yes, yes, please,
Oh,
God.
flask crafts, please. See, I've
I don't
always
think
thought they
I
were going to
want
make
that,
a
actually.
jewel master, and then that's a way to get rid of the threshold jewel thing.
I-
But flask
I
crafts.
need another bold prediction, and then I've got all you guys covered for bold predictions. What's the last one?
The next league's gonna be full anime. I mean, we're already getting there. We started off with Incursion being like Samurai Jack with with that one clip you made, and now this league is basically just made in Abyss.
Oh, then we gotta predict the league color because they haven't said, right? What's the
It better
the
be
color?
fucking purple.
They haven't done orange yet, have they?
It's kind of incursion-y.
Orange and yellow are my go-to colors right now. If it's yellow, I'm claiming that whole league was me. If it was yellow.
Man, colors are difficult because of Delve, right? Because you've got so many different like things going on. It's not really like one color league. They kind of said blue, but it was like Azurite. I mean, I wouldn't really associate it with that.
It's gonna be even brighter blue, so that Tarke is gonna bitch about the colors.
I'm gonna come. No, okay. This league made me need to get glasses. Like next league, I want to have specs which are like this fucking thick. Real talk.
Green,
though,
right? I think green.
PSA: if anyone is actually having really bad problems with Delve is still bad for your eyes. Get your eyes tested. I've had 0 migraine since I've been wearing glasses. So yeah.
But you've also lived like the entirety of your life blind, which is shocking to me.
What is actually quite
Me
funny
too.
is I've been remembering things that have happened to me in my childhood where I didn't read something properly, and it's like, oh, it's probably because I couldn't fucking see.
Like that.
I thought it was normal too. When I was at school, I was like, how the fuck are people reading this stuff? I was like, well, and people would like joke about it too, so I didn't think. Because my eyesight deteriorated, but I used the same glasses for like 8 years straight. And once I actually equipped glasses and I could see like people's pores on their faces, I'm like, holy fuck, the universe is so different. And I was wearing glasses the whole time, but they were like not good enough.
Since I
It's gonna be
equipped
green.
these glasses, my life has improved vastly. It's very nice.
I'll say from my little anecdote here, it was pretty obvious for me because I walked into doorways. This kid needs glasses.
What kind of thing did you have? Eyesight. What's your eyesight thing?
I don't know. It's like minus. Plus 6.
6 plus?
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
shit!
like it's gotten better. Well, it's like I think it's like 5.5 and 3.5 now.
Wait, so you can't see anything like directly in front of you then?
Yeah.
You can see things far away, but you can't see in front of you.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
So, I mean, I can sort of. I mean, it's blurry, so it's just blurry. So I walked into things.
Uber, tell me about your eyes, please.
Yeah, I can't see things far away, but I don't wear glasses on stream very much. I always wear contacts because I always want to see like all of my screen at once, so glasses aren't really good at that. But
I mean, I can see the whole screen at once in glasses. I mean, I've got the
I
giant
can't wear
Harry Potter
contacts.
glasses, so maybe that's what you need to do.
it's better peripheral. It depends how you play, but I mean, I noticed it when I was like 5 or something. So
Once you notice like the things and you can't get over them, then yeah, I would imagine how that would bother you. Anyway,
you
league's
just
gonna
need
be green. Guess the fucking league color.
orange,
Well,
yellow,
like
mustard.
black.
It's gonna be mustard, and it's
Black.
my league.
Black.
It's gonna be black and it's gonna absorb every color. So
Ooh, that sounds cool.
That's basically what we've got right now. Colors absorbing colors. You can't see shit. God damn.
No,
I just
but
wanted
if
to
there
see
was
people
actually
stand
like
for
a
Umbra.
muddy,
actually, it's gonna be red. It's gonna be just Malachi fight all over again.
no, Karv, you ruined my eye. Like,
It's
imagine if
green.
it was actually shut up. Imagine if it was actually like shadows and they like tendrily like took over an area. And it was like they drained. It was just like what they do with Elder. Like it drains all the fucking life out of it. It's like so edgelord. Edge League for Christmas. Let's go.
I
They
have
could call it Edge. Why not?
Yeah.
I have I know what the next league is going to be. Next league is going to be Path of Designing Your Hideout.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I fucking love
Dude,
it. It's so
Path
good.
of shoes.
Path of
they've been
Shoes,
working
best
on
league.
hideout stuff for so long. It has to happen.
I mean, it's relevant to Masters, so
We could get a hideout master, and he could wear yellow. It's like, that's my boy right there. And you like level him up, and he like builds your shit, bro.
Was there a green league? Because yellow, I didn't
Abyss.
think there was, but it was Perendus.
Abyss
Abyss
was
was
green.
kind of green. Fuck.
Yeah.
What are more colors?
I don't know. White. A white league. Why not?
The next
yeah.
next color is void. We're just gonna have the shaper void shit all over.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of what I just was talking about with Edge League, Amy.
Nah, just make a rainbow league.
I think people are gonna be pissed with next league. Like,
Whoa! You
it's not
think
gonna
people will
very
be pissed about the league? No.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be like very gameplay oriented. It's gonna be like some sort of path of shoes or something. I don't know, because they've been doing so much gameplay oriented stuff where you just kill things.
I think the next
What
league
league
is
have they
going to
done
be big.
where you don't kill things?
Beastery, kind of.
You have to remember
That's true, kind of.
it's December. They always do a big thing for December, right? So like the only way that it wouldn't be like a fuck you like big like fucking hard league would be if it was like complete model rework. But I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, but it's in line with Masters, right? Masters was a you don't kill things league.
I think every
you
league
kill
is
yourself
always
when you're
bigger than
doing
the before.
Elrond.
If you like retail posts, like every league is like bigger than the last one, and it's like
And they
Weaker?
always want like
Or
bigger.
the biggest
Oh,
league
yeah.
for December. Like December's like they're always their biggest thing.
Yeah, and then the league
It's kinda crazy.
after the December's league is slightly bigger than the last league, and it's always like that.
Just because it's the December league, I think that's also why Incursion's going to be like really very different to what it is. Meh.
Okay.
Tarke.
Well, that was all the good things off Twitter, so that's basically that done. I would like to thank everyone for turning up on time today. It was very kind of you. I'd also like to give special praise to Karv Rescue turning up in a massive screen, stepping in last minute, and then not, and then not, and then yes, and then no. Karv, where can everyone find you?
Just type Delve apparently to Google and you'll find me.
Wait, really?
Wait,
Hold on, I'm
what?
testing this.
I'm
No, it's
trying.
because he spent the entire podcast with Delve above his head.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's been
I
really
see.
You're
sad.
rebranding
Oh
now.
my god.
Yeah.
No, just instead
God
of Delve, just
damn
type instead
What
of
is
that.
Office Delve?
I got
Now,
baited.
Uber, other than your face next to a picture of the word gullible, where can people find you?
The Uber Elite, apparently. On Twitch. Also under the emote name Debated.
Okay.
And Nugi, how about you?
Nugiyen, anywhere.
Do you have any more YouTube videos coming up? Because we were very excited when you uploaded your last one.
Yeah.
This year?
It's gonna be a Dota video.
This year, yeah. Sometime this year.
And it's the data guide with Raiz.
How to carry Raiz.
It's the announcement of upcoming
Excuse
videos.
me?
Hey, what?
It's an announcement of upcoming videos next year.
Can I just say that is my favorite thing when you follow a YouTube channel, they're dead for years, and like I'm gonna announce I'm back, bigger, stronger, new schedule, and then like there's never anything
Nothing.
else. I'm gonna wake up at 3 a.m. every morning, go on a 20-mile hike, come home, record 27. Nah, it's like that's dead.
Nah, I'm just gonna lay in bed and sleep.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
And Raiz, where can people find you?
You can find me in the Dota 2 directory, you know. Full-time streamer. I switched from Diablo 3 and all this stuff under Raiz QT, as it is written underneath in the greatest font of all time in any Baeclast.
What is
I like this one.
font?
I like this font.
This is the special.
Just need to
spooky
add some
font.
blood and you're good to go.
Yeah. And if you're watching this, you know where I am, so just follow me on Twitter. But yes, I'm Tarke. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.